Hello and welcome to another live stream. I'm ExJW Caleb, and today I am up at the ungodly hour of 8 a.m. I've been up since 7 a.m. Preparing this because today is the most important day of the year when it comes to Jehovah's Witness theology. Today is when the Jehovah's Witnesses will have their annual meeting, and in the annual meeting, they always have revealed new light, especially in the last few years. So let's jump right into it because I just opened the stream and I saw that Gage is actually wearing something surprisingly nice for a Jehovah's Witness. Now, today you are going to be watching it with me. However, we are also going to check if we get clapped by Watchtower because a while ago, one apostle, like 5 years ago, one apostle tried to do exactly this, what I'm doing right now, and live reacting to the annual meeting, and they got clapped by Watchtower. So let's see how close of an eye Watchtower is keeping on apostates. You know, uh, 5 years after, and right out of the gate, like obviously, like Gage Flegel is talking about whatever, but he's wearing a really nice outfit, like the nicest outfit that I've seen any governing body member wear. Like that is a very beautiful winter green suit with like an orange tie and a purple handkerchief. Like that is Lois saying, "Oh, that suit is something." Oh, and the purple. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like that. This is so fashion forward for a Jehovah's Witness that this would have been something that I would have worn as a Jehovah's Witness. But anyway, let's increase the volume and let's listen to what Flegel has to say while I fire up my, first cigar of the morning because this is an ungodly early hour.
Amazing.
Also, obviously, like we're jumping in like half an hour later, but there's no way the Jehovah's Witnesses revealed new light in the first half an hour. Like I wanted to start, when it had already started because this is so boring and I will fall asleep. I woke up so early today.
Calls to action, kind reminders, exciting announcements, praise to Jehovah.
Respectfully, man, you're looking handsome. AF, flipping the fit. Thank you so much. I woke up so early that I couldn't even find a single one of my ExJW Caleb t-shirts. But so I hope you forgive me for not wearing, not having my ExJW fit.
And it was entitled,
we just started, Jake.
Jehovah Will Help You Be Bold. Since that time, 5 additional epic episodes have been released, including Make Jehovah Happy, Jehovah Forgives, Does Jehovah Answer Prayers, Who Should Be My Friend, and You Are Precious to Jehovah. How these videos have helped our...
He's talking about Caleb and Sophia.
...to visualize Bible accounts and heavenly realities. Well, we're happy to inform you that another epic episode will soon be ready for release, but not just yet. But we can show you the trailer to increase anticipation. It's entitled Become Jehovah's Friend, the Greatest...
Oh my God, we're going to see the new Caleb and Sophia trailer?
I miss her so much. Hey, soon we're having a memorial, and you have to come. It's the most important event. He loves all of us. He loves you. Soon, Jesus will resurrect people. And because he died for us, we can all live forever. He's the greatest gift anyone could give us. Mom, should we get ready for the memorial?
Let's do it.
Yay!
As we all go home tonight, think about what Jesus' sacrifice means to you.
Wow, more child indoctrination shit. Wow, isn't that insane? More horrible child cartoons. Let me make myself bigger.
Certainly, we anticipate the release of the full-length episode. Well, the next part of our program is a symposium from 3 members of the governing body. Each speaker will introduce the next. But the first talk of our symposium will be given by the longest-serving member of the governing body, Brother Garrett Lush. The past July, he completed 30 years serving on the governing body. Brother Lush will now discuss the theme, Our Privilege to Glorify Jehovah.
Brother Lush. You say Brother Losh. Why did you say Brother Lush? Like, I know he's German, but I mean, he's also very old. Also, I love Gary Lush's hair. I hope I have half his hair when I'm his age. How long is this shit? Probably like an hour. What is he doing?
As you can see, this is a mirror. Did you look into a mirror before you came here? Perhaps, judging by your neat and clean appearance,
He just grabbed the mirror as a prop.
mirrors were generally made of metal, such as bronze or copper, even silver and gold. They had to be highly polished, but still did not have as fine a reflecting surface as do glass mirrors. This is why the Apostle Paul said in 1 Corinthians 13:12, "For now we see in hazy outline by means of the metal mirror." Probably only in the first century glass mirrors were introduced. In the scriptures, we find two figurative uses of the term mirror. For instance, in James chapter 1, verses 22 to 25, it says, "However, become doers of the word and not hearers only, deceiving yourselves with false reasoning. For if anyone is a hearer of the word and not a doer..."
This is so boring. I swear to God, this is so boring. So, why is Gary Losh just wearing a traditional suit when Gage Flegel can wear like a nicer suit? I mean, this is so like, look, compared to Gary Lush, he looks so boring. Gary Lush looked like not Gary Lush, fucking Gage Flegel, real name. He looked like a real forest with like that moss green suit and shit.
And he will be happy in what he does.
When he said, "Has anyone looked in the mirror today?" I would have fucking yelled out, "No, but you know, blind guy problems." LOL, says Blind Dave. Listen, Dave, I literally think of you like almost all of the time that I'm editing. Because sometimes I just show something on the screen and I'm like, I need to narrate this because I know that there's at least one person that is just going to be absolutely just going to be listening to my videos. So let me tell you, I think of you a lot because I'm like, no, I need to make sure that he doesn't have this blind guy problems like in my channel at least.
Exactly as it's done by Jehovah the Spirit.
Jay, just in case you haven't looked at a mirror or heard of a mirror, this is what a mirror is. Exactly. Like he just did that, and then he was like, anyway, this is how mirrors get made.
Through the mercy that was shown us, we do not give up. So God's word is compared to a mirror that we can use to examine ourselves. On the other hand, also Christians themselves are compared to a mirror that reflects Jehovah's glory. So how do the scriptures use the word glory? Well,
there's a textbook of the example of a JW talk. Do you mean boring as fuck? Because yes.
Verses 40 to 44, it says, "And there are heavenly bodies and earthly bodies. But the glory of the heavenly bodies is one sort, and that of the earthly bodies is a different sort. The glory of the sun is one sort, the glory of the moon is another, and the glory of the stars is another. In fact, star differs from another star in glory. So it is with the resurrection of the dead. It is sown in corruption, it's raised up in incorruption. It's sown in dishonor, it's raised up in glory. It's sown in weakness, it's raised up in power. It's sown a physical body, it's raised up a spiritual body." Now, let's discuss 5 types of glory. Of course, Jehovah has and deserves the highest degree of glory. Then there's the glory of Jesus, which is second to the one of God. In John 1:14, it says, "So the Word became flesh and resided among us, and we had the view of his glory, a glory that such as belongs to an only begotten Son from the Father, and he was full of divine favor and truth. John 1:14. The Bible shows that Jesus was given more glory after his resurrection than he had before he came to the earth.
5 types of glory. This is the kind of deep spiritual food you can only get in Jehovah's organization. I know. 5 types of glory according to Jehovah's Witnesses. 3 types of silence according to Patrick Rothfuss. You know, it's both very high spiritual leaders that disappointed their audience.
The third point, anointed Christians also have a measure of glory. Jude verse 8 says that in the first century there were some that were speaking abusively of glorious ones. Who were the glorious ones in the first century? Anointed overseers. They had
this is
a
a pointless.
measure.
If he's setting something up, honestly, like this is a pointless. That like I kind of just want to talk over it.
Number 4.
But since
When
it's
taken
so
to
early,
heaven,
and
all anointed,
since this just
not
started,
only
like there's
anointed
just
overseers
nothing
will
to talk
receive
about. Like you know,
everlasting
have you
glory.
noticed though? Like this is
2
something that I
Timothy
want to talk
3:10
about.
says,
Have you noticed? First of all,
quote,
he has like a
"For
very
this
special
reason
card of
I
annual
go on
meeting, like on
enduring
his
all things for
on
the
like a
sakes
lapel
sake
card. Do you
of the
see this? Do you
chosen
see
ones,
this
so
thing? Can I
that
zoom in?
they
No, I can't
too
zoom in.
may obtain the
Also, he's
salvation
wearing
that
a
is through Christ
he's wearing
Jesus
a fucking
along with everlasting
vest
glory."
underneath his black suit,
But we have today
which
not a
I
few,
feel it's
but
because like people
many
really dress up
glorious
for the
ones,
annual meeting, you
sitting
know.
even in the audience right
They
here.
it's like
How so?
the
Because the
memorial is the
expression
most important
glorious
meeting
ones
for like the
refers
rank and file, like the average
also
Jehovah's
to
Witness.
elders
But this is
of
the
the
most
earthly
important
home.
meeting
In
for Jehovah's
Watchtower
Witnesses as an
1997,
organization. Like this is the most important
September 1,
organizational meeting, while the
page
other one is the most
16,
important
verse 14
ritualistic meeting.
says,
I should say.
quote,
So this
"Christian
is what
elders
the
represent the glorious
the higher
Jehovah
ups are
God and
actually
his
excited
Son,
about and what
and
they
as a
literally
result
dress up
have
for.
certain glory conferred upon them. True, they make mistakes.
Jake says, okay, so this is a mirror. Gotta
But
set
the
that down. The
scriptures
point is that
urge
mirror
members of
reflects
the
out, and we can
congregation
reflect
to
glory.
be
And there's 5
submissive
kinds of
to
glory, and
such
glory can level up in a
glorious
like in a
ones."
video game.
End of quote.
That is literally
And
what
number
Gary
5,
Lodge has been saying. Like that is so good.
there's a glorious good news, no matter what hope we have. We
Glorious.
glorify Jehovah through our preaching and teaching. 2 Corinthians 4:3 and 4 says, "In fact, the good news we declare is veiled. It is veiled among those who are perishing, among the God of this system of things has blinded the minds of the unbelievers so that the illumination of the glorious good news about the Christ might not shine through."
That is a very unique thing that Jehovah's Witnesses believe that Garrett just like threw in there. If you don't believe what Jehovah's Witnesses
Not all
believe
the
when they
overseers
preach
and
to you,
other
that
adults in the
is because
congregation reflect
Satan
Jehovah's
has literally
glory.
blinded you so you cannot
Also,
see the glory of what
children
they
can
preach.
do
So,
so.
you know, if you don't see it, it's Satan's
Children,
fault. And
are
you know,
you
it's a little bit
aware?
your fault because you're
We
allowing
too,
Satan to like
yes, we all can glorify
blind you.
Jehovah. How? In at least 6 ways. Or starting with 1.1, we glorify him through our prayers. And then also by singing kingdom songs. Another point, we glorify him by accumulating accurate knowledge. 2 Corinthians 4:6 therefore says, "For God is the one who said, 'Let the light shine out of darkness,' and he has shone on our hearts to illuminate them with the glorious knowledge of God by the face of Christ." Further, we glorify Jehovah by our Christian conduct. Yes, we absorb this light of glorious knowledge of God and transform our lives according to it. It brings glory to Jehovah God. One's conduct can cause also others to give glory to God. Our
To anyone just jumping in, this is the annual meeting. Gary Lush is just talking about the different kinds of glory. There's no new light yet. The new light is going to be like in an hour, assuming we don't get kicked out. So you know, like just settle down. Like new light is coming, but as Jehovah's Witnesses already like said us, like taught us, We need to
The
like they need
mirrors
to
do not
edge
have
us
any
for like a
glory or
long time
light
with the
in
most boring
itself.
thing in the world for like first.
Similarly,
So
we are
the
aware that
when
any
we
glory
come
we might have
to
is
the
just
new
a
light,
reflection
it's
of
a
God's glory.
it's a very rewarding
First Peter
process.
chapter 2, verse 12 says, maintain your conduct fine among the nations so that when they accuse you of being wrongdoers, they may be eyewitnesses of your fine works and as a result, glorify God in the day of his inspection. Further, we glorify him by
Oh man, I didn't even turn on the lights in the back. Let me just turn that on.
16, in the Sermon on the Mount, Jesus himself showed that preaching and teaching is not enough. We need to do good things to others aside from it. We need to love our neighbors, including those at our workplace. This may prompt people who are not witnesses of Jehovah to glorify God, as Jesus put it. And I quote, let your light shine before men so that they may see your fine works. So it's not just preaching, fine works, and give glory to your Father who is in the heavens.
That is literally the only reason why a Jehovah's Witness will be
What's
good to
another
you, or
way
nice to you, or
we
kind
all
to
can
you. So,
reflect
in
the
the
glory
hopes
of
that
Jehovah like
you
mirrors?
can impress them
We
enough
glorify him by our
into
preaching and
wanting them
teaching.
to
We want to conduct
that you'd be
Bible
impressed
studies
enough
and
into wanting to convert it
want
to the
to
Jehovah's Witness
impart
religion.
that glorious knowledge
Again, it's very
about
funny how in
God.
the annual
For
meeting
God
they
is the
literally
one who
just
said,
say
let the
things
light
out
shine
loud
out
like
of
this,
darkness,
and
and he
if
that
you
shone in
don't
our
believe
hearts
us, you're
to
blinded by Satan.
illuminate
Like
them,
all of that shit, like
says
is just
Paul
thrown
in
out
2
there because
Corinthians
no
4:6.
interested person
He
is watching
continues,
this. No
illuminate them
judges
with
are
the
watching this. This
glorious
is just Jehovah's
knowledge
Witnesses,
of
and
God by the
and
face of
us.
Christ. Many of us who are older had the privilege of reflecting the glory of Jehovah for perhaps decades. Jehovah has allowed us not only the privilege of proclaiming the message of the kingdom, but also some have served as elders, pioneers, missionaries, Bethelites, construction servants, circuit overseers, or branch committee members. These are ways that we have reflected the glory of Jehovah. What a
Yeah. Oh shit. Those
privilege
titles.
we've had to
All
do.
of those titles are in the Bible. Like we love those titles in the
In
Bible.
spite of all these privileges, we maintain a humble spirit. We appreciate that the privileges we have enjoyed are an undeserved kindness from Jehovah. Having enjoyed so many privileges, what unique responsibility do we as older ones now have? We must allow the next generation to come up so they too can enjoy unique privileges in glorifying Jehovah. They are the next generation of like circuit overseers, Bethelites, missionaries, construction servants, branch committee members, and so on. We want them to have the marvelous privilege that we have enjoyed as well. That means we must look for ways to teach them, to train them, to encourage them, so that they may use their youth and strength and ability
Yeah,
to
we
glorify
know,
God.
Garrett. Like
What a
you are looking for the
privilege we have
youngest
as
elders
older ones
possible. We
to
know that.
train and teach
You
younger
want to get
ones.
the youngest elders possible
With
to
that
the
in
point where
mind,
they're really not
it is a
elders. That they're
pleasure
just
to
like
announce
barely
that
out of teenage
two
years. We know that.
additional brothers have been appointed to serve as members of the governing body.
I thought we're all this. We're all. Wait, what? Did you say new members have been appointed to the governing body?
Well, brothers Jody Jedele and Jacob Rumpf. Both brothers are anointed Christians who have a long history of loyal service to Jehovah. Brother Jedele began his full-time service in 1989 and Bethel service in 1990. Brother Rumpf began his full-time service in 1995 and Bethel service in 2020. Both brothers served as helpers to the service committee of the governing body for a while. We thank our Heavenly Father Jehovah for raising up such faithful men to share in the work of the governing body. We pray
New
that Jehovah
members?
will richly bless brothers
No way.
Stedely and Rumpf and their wives.
I need to put in the title.
We all worship our glorious God Jehovah. We have the glorious good news to spread. Our whole life is for the glory of his praise. Paul wrote in 1 Corinthians 10:31, whether you are eating or drinking or doing anything else, do all things for God's glory.
So that's
Will
what he
you
was setting
endeavor
up.
to reflect like a mirror Jehovah's glory by making the truth manifest in word and example? What a privilege. At the end of the millennium, faithful ones on earth will receive and display a measure of glory as perfect sons and daughters of Jehovah. It says in Romans 8:21, the creation itself will also be set free from enslavement to corruption and have the glorious freedom of the children of God.
If they're in their 30s, that's going to be crazy. I mean, we're about,
So
aren't we about to see them?
keep polishing that mirror.
Aren't we about
Look
to
at
see
the
them?
mirror
I
of
mean,
God's word
this is the governing
every day.
the annual meeting,
And
so I
like
feel
a
like we
mirror,
should
reflect
be able to see them
God's
today,
glory
right?
by what you say and do. Appreciate your privilege to glorify Jehovah God. Help young ones to take on privileges of service. We trust you will. And
They
we
must
wish
know
you
that they're getting
Jehovah's
old and they need
rich
to appoint new
blessings
guys. Well,
in this endeavor.
that's the
So
point. I
keep
mean,
polishing, keep
they
reflecting
shouldn't,
the
like,
light.
how old are they? Because if they're from like the new generation, oh yeah, the mirror, we forgot the mirror. If they're from like the new generation, if they're very young, are they just gonna get rid of like the teaching of the current teaching of how old the governing body needs to be able to be in part of the governing body?
But how can you, our young ones, glorify Jehovah by serving, for instance, at Bethel and in theocratic construction?
Maybe we're getting another Tony Morris situation.
What
I mean,
opportunities are
let's see if
available
someone else
for
from the governing body gets
young
kicked out
ones
after this.
today? For the answers to these questions, let us now give our attention to Brother Jeffrey Winder, a member of the governing body, who will share the next talk in this symposium entitled Opportunities to Glorify Jehovah at Bethel and in Theocratic.
Boring. We already know Jeffrey Winder. He's been there for over. Also, but now there will be like 11 members of the governing body, and 4 of those 11 members, like almost half of them, would have been appointed in the last like couple of years. There's going to be a lots of changes coming because I mean there's a fresh governing, like the governing body is very clearly changing.
Faithful man Isaiah to utter a prophecy that you and I are seeing fulfilled before our eyes. It's found in Isaiah chapter 60. I invite you to turn there with me.
Was there an age requirement before? They were supposed. I don't know if you look. It's very complicated in the generations teaching, but basically they have, according to the current generations teaching, which is the generation that will not pass away. The generation must be. They have to be old enough to where they could have been a contemporary at some point of Raymond Franz, not Raymond Franz.
That is increasing
the other
in
dude,
speed.
the other
Do you
friend.
sense the
Wait, which one is the
momentum of
apostate? This is
what
so
Jehovah's
early. Anyway,
organization
you
is
have to be
doing
like
today?
old. Yeah. There is sort of wait. He didn't out a prompt, so I don't know what he's talking about. Yeah, I know. Me neither. We should probably like listen to it.
Jehovah is accomplishing a tremendous work worldwide, and all in connection with the kingdom preaching work. And in the face of satanic attack and the wickedness of the last days, what Jehovah is accomplishing truly glorifies his name. But because so much work is being done, there is a need for more workers.
The video of a road. Yes, yes, they did. I'm still like, are we gonna see the new governing body? Like, are the new governing body members, the 2 new governing body members? are they going to have a
In
speech in this
Bethel,
annual
we
meeting
have a
where
constant
literally every
need
governing
for
body member
spiritually
has a speech? Like
qualified
it's
men
just
and
tradition
women
because
who can
they get
help
to share
carry
the
the load
spotlight.
of
Like,
the ever
are they going
increasing
to share in the
complex
spotlight, or are they going to have to wait
and there
until
is a
next year?
particular need for young brothers who can apply to come to Bethel and
Fred France, thank you so much, Apostle Minister School. Yes, you have to have been a contemporary of Fred France. You have to have been born before Fred France had died right now to be able to be part of like the generation of the governing body or whatever, the generation that will not pass away that Jesus taught about. It's a very complicated thing, but yes, you have to be old enough to have lived, to have been born before Fred France died, which was one of the, not Fred France, but in general, Fred France-ish. Not just Fred France, but like that generation. You have to be like old enough to remember that generation of like Fred France.
so that Jehovah's work can continue. And what about theocratic construction? Well, there too, there continues to be a need for spiritually qualified men and women who can help carry the tremendous amount of work that is taking place in facility construction worldwide. And there too, we need spiritually qualified men who can be trained in time to take the lead as
This is just a
overseers,
speech
to serve
about
as
we
construction
need
committee
free
members,
workers
and care
for our
other
cult.
assignments. But how much work is there to do in theocratic construction?
Wait, are there new governing body members are doing now? Yes. Like Garrett Lush announced it. That's the glory that they're reflecting. That there's two new mirrors that are reflecting glory.
1,500 new kingdom halls. Zambia reports a need for over 900 new kingdom halls. Mozambique and Angola each have a need for almost 500 kingdom halls. And in Nigeria, they have on their books a need for 2,000 renovations of kingdom halls in addition to the new ones that they need. And that's not to mention all the work taking place in major branch construction, the construction of remote translation offices, school facilities, assembly halls, and more. Is there a need? Absolutely. Young ones, especially you young ones in your teens, thinking about how you will use your
Maybe they'll make the
life.
first
Can
woman
you
governing
get
body member. No,
involved
we already
in
got their
Bethel work
names.
and
They're
theocratic
both men.
construction work? Should you? If you do, what will your life be like?
This is just about
Would
you
you
should
live
work
to
for
regret
Jehovah's
it?
Witnesses for free.
Or is it possible that it would lead to a most fulfilling life in this system of things? Well, to help answer those questions,
That's lame
we invite you
AM.
to
I'm
watch
assuming
the
AF.
following
If
video,
that's
which
all, no.
highlights
I really
comments
don't think
from
that's going to
ones
be all.
who,
Like if they
when they
threw
were
it in the
young,
middle
made
of
the
the annual
decision
meeting,
to
there's
get
going to be
involved
some
in
new
Bethel
light,
work or
some
theocratic
new light at
construction
the
work.
end of the annual meeting.
Watching this video could be like looking at your life in fast forward. If you choose the course that these ones chose, how would that turn out for you? Let's watch.
This is just a cult recruitment ad for
My name
cult
is
members.
Pavel. I serve at the Finland branch.
My name is Brad Berkwin. I'm serving in the Congo.
My name is Gina Slay.
My name is Christopher Slay, and we serve in the Nigeria branch.
My name is Karen Ferro. I live in Argentina.
That is
I
a
grew up in
wonderful
Simon
last
Gate
name.
congregation because I
Slay.
have deaf parents.
My
When I
God,
saw
like
the
oh
signage
my, that is
department
a
for the first
great
time,
last
I
name.
was
Let me
so
tell you.
impressed by it, and so I developed my first love for Bethel service.
So tomorrow, who are in Fleagle and Wine and when two brand new ones like that's what the mirror represented.
A normal life in this system. I think the contrast for me was the joy of
Shit, just joining more governing body members. Yes, right now we're watching a recruitment thing for Jehovah's Witnesses to spend all of their time working for free for the cult, like doubly so. But yeah, in the previous speech, for anyone who's just joining in, Garrett Lush announced that there will be two new governing body members that they will be appointed that will be shining the glory of Jehovah, literally the way that he put it. So we are waiting to see if we have more I'm hoping that they'll have a speech because every governing body member has a speech in the annual meeting. But we're about to see. Let's check why we should work for free for this cult forever. Like just dedicate our lives to live in a cult compound.
Realized I was in the truth, they're in the truth, but they're happier than me. So I started regular auxiliary pioneering.
This woman does slay. Like, look at her look. She looks amazing.
The special pioneer couple. Before that, they served at Bethel, and therefore they had a lot of experience. I asked them questions. So I want to serve in Bethel. What do I need to do? Tell me.
When I thought of Bethel, I knew single sisters were serving there. When I became aware of the construction work, I made myself available to increase my service.
Serving Jehovah as fully as you can is not a matter of just drudgery and sacrifices in this system. It's actually the best way of life we can live right now.
Taste and see that Jehovah is good. That will not fail.
Jesus, like
Be
this
constantly
is just
active and serve.
the same thing. Like, hey, you should work
Sometimes
for
it may
free
seem
for
that
this
it's
cult
not
in
much
Bethel
fun.
forever. Dedicate your life for it because
Perhaps it may seem
Jehovah is
boring,
good.
but
Jehovah
actually,
is good.
serving Jehovah brings so much joy and many blessings.
At Genesis 48:15, there it refers to Jehovah as being the true God who has been shepherding me during all my life until this day. Jacob realized that Jehovah had taken him to a spiritual place that he would never have been able to go to on his own. And I feel that Jehovah has done that with me.
That's why you should live in a cult compound because it's so nice.
Well, these friends are serving all over the globe, aren't they? Some in their home branch territories, others in foreign assignments. But how did they describe their life? Was it drudgery and sacrifice and regret? No. Each one of them, in one way or another, said it is the best way.
Danny
of
has the
life.
same kind of knit cap as that last lady. Listen,
Didn't you
Jake.
love what Karen
Listen,
said?
Jake.
Jehovah
I'm
can
not
take
hiding
you to
anything,
a
okay?
spiritual place that you could never get to on your own. Why do these ones find so much joy in their service? Well, one reason is because they know they are filling a clear need in Jehovah's work. And in this way, they're working shoulder to shoulder with God and Christ in a work that is important to them. And that brings meaning to their life. A second reason why they find so much joy is highlighted for us
If
in
they
the book.
described it like that, they would have been in the video. They wouldn't have been in the video. Yeah, exactly. Like this is just cherry picked examples of
And let's read
these
together
are
Psalm
people who say
145,
that it's the best thing in the world. Like they're not gonna interview fucking Ben Ford about it, right?
That verse says, all day long I will praise you. I will praise your name forever and ever. In Bethel and theocratic construction assignments, you have the opportunity to serve Jehovah all day, every day, to praise Jehovah, to glorify him with all your strength. So all day of every day of your life, you are engaged in theocratic activities, and that brings contentment and joy as well.
I'm so glad that
And
I
did you
didn't go to
notice how
Bethel, says
each one
someone
of them
slut.
got
Me
In
too,
many
my
cases, it
brother.
was
My
someone
father
else
was
in the
actually a Bethelite,
congregation
and it
who
was a
served
plan
them
that I
and
would go to
encouraged them
Bethel as
to
soon as I
involve
turned
in local
19.
projects, to turn in
But
their
it just
application,
things
and
didn't
then
really
their
work like
journey
that.
was
Work out like
continued
that.
from there.
But yeah, like originally that
Young
was a
brothers and
plan, and
sisters,
you know,
we
like
want
since
you to
my
be
father
able
knew
to
people in
get
Bethel,
involved in
like
this
I would have
exciting
gone
work
like
as
straight in
early as
because back then it
possible.
was a little bit harder to get in.
And so,
But yeah,
I have an
I'm
exciting
so glad I
announcement
didn't go
for
to
you.
Bethel too.
It reads this way. We are pleased to inform you that the governing body has decided to reduce the minimum age requirement to enter Bethel service or to assist with theocratic construction projects from 19 to 18 years of age.
They're going to be using literal teen labor. They're inviting literal teens to become construction workers for this cult now. Wow, what a change. I mean, it's not a
Goes
big
on,
change,
this
but I mean,
adjustment is
this is
effective
just about,
immediately.
listen, let me tell
Why
you.
the change?
Oh my
Here are
God.
3 reasons based on Bible principles. Reason
Based on Bible principle. Oh, look, we absolutely need free labor.
both. Paul stated in Colossians 1:6 that the good news is bearing fruit and increasing in all the world. So it is also doing among you. Today, we are thrilled to see how the good news continues to bear fruit and how much growth is taking place. We also see Jehovah's Spirit at work in you young ones, And we want to open up to you the opportunity to enter special forms of service as soon as possible.
As
Reason
soon
number
as
2.
possible.
Our current and future needs require more young brothers to make themselves available for expanded theocratic service. Why? Proverbs 20:29 says that the glory of young...
They are very clearly getting young people younger and younger because people are, I mean, they don't have people. They don't have enough. They don't have enough people. That's why they're lowering the standards.
to benefit as soon as possible from additional theocratic training.
By the
Paul
principle of
said-
my eyes, yeah, this is the part where, you know, they already told you what they want to do it. So they do like this post ad rock, whatever, I can't remember the name, this post rationalization, and they are like, oh, I mean, these verses are about how strong young people are. So there you go.
Unique and special training of excelling value that is available at Bethel and on theocratic construction.
The timing of that announcement, you just got finished talking about how about almost going to Bethel. I mean, yeah, I mean that's what this guy's talking about. Like, this guy's being like, now you can go to Bethel like as young as possible. This is the youngest you can ever go to Bethel, like at 18.
So, young ones, we encourage you to prayerfully consider whether you can make yourself available to
Post hog
enjoy the
rationalization.
special
Thank you.
privilege of service. And isn't that exciting? So truly, young ones, we encourage you to take advantage of this opportunity. Glorify Jehovah by getting involved in Bethel work and theocratic
Take
construction.
advantage, guys. Take advantage is working for free for us. Take advantage of this opportunity to work for free for us.
Especially you sisters might have noticed that some of our comments were weighted more toward encouraging the young brothers to apply. And the reason for that is because of the need that we have for these brothers to take the lead and direct the work as they grow and receive training. But we would be amiss if we did not acknowledge the hard work and self-sacrifice of the young sisters in the organization. The fact is, you're doing it. You're there. You are with us at Bethel. You are fully involved in theocratic construction around the world, many of you courageously accepting foreign assignments. And we truly love you for your example and your life of self-sacrifice.
Oh, wow, this is terrible.
And now a word to the parents. We know that you parents, you love your children and you want the very best future possible for your young ones. And so we encourage you, set goals of full-time service in front of your children and help them to achieve these goals. And will you miss them if they should be called to Bethel or they go off on a Kingdom Hall assignment somewhere? Of course you will. But don't hold them back.
But that's a sacrifice that I'm willing to make. Like, parents, make sure that your children are working for free for this call. This is what they're saying.
Life. But rather, can you be like Hannah? Turn with me, please, to 1 Samuel chapter 1.
Oh, while this guy is reading a stupid Bible verse, 21, who's like Frogmood, hi Caleb, I'm late. What I miss? They're lowering the age of which you can like do like full-time work for Jehovah's Witnesses, and there was the announcement of 2 new governing body members, Garrett Lush and Anna, like just 20 minutes ago. So that is what you missed so far. Let's move back to this idiot, this.
Why do we say lend?
Millhouse guy?
It's because Jehovah will give them back to you. In the new world, you will have an eternity to spend with your family together in paradise. But right now, we have a work to do. So we thank you for training your young ones to take the lead in full-time service. Now a comment to our elders and circuit overseers. What can you, brothers, do to help the young ones on the path to serving Jehovah full-time in Bethel and in theocratic construction? Well, are you encouraging Bethel service? Are you helping the young ones to learn how to get involved in local projects with their local design construction department? You know, school counselors are charting a path for our young ones in school. Shouldn't we be doing the same? to illustrate
Jesus, no, you should. Oh my God, this is really pernicious because this is now he's like, parents, you need to make sure that your children work for free for us. Like he's doubling down on it. He's doubling down on it. Yeah, exactly. As Darko was saying, this is it's a construction
if there
code.
really was a need, but his circuit overseer saw his potential and gave him a Bethel application and persisted in encouraging him until he could see the need, and he turned in his application. Well, now he's been serving for some years. He's married now, and he and his wife are making a fantastic contribution. But are there ones like that in your congregation, in your circuit, that may be just on the fence and would benefit from some encouragement? You can truly make a difference in how these young ones use their lives. And finally, a comment to the current generation who is carrying the load of oversight in Bethel and in
Thank you so much, Apostle Minister School, for 2 big ones. By the way, I shipped your package like last week, just FYI.
Jehovah has been able to accomplish with your help is just fantastic. And now we thank you for training the next generation so that the work can continue and Jehovah can continue to get
The next generation, so the work can continue. So Armageddon is not coming?
continue in the work. You have a zeal for the work, and to feel productive and have accomplishment and feel valued, well, that's very much connected to our joy. We understand that. But as we get older, we know...
No, let the experts help the kids, not some random religious leaders. Not every JW kid can go to Bethel, wants to go to Bethel, or would be accepted to Bethel, says Jenny Bloom. You're right, except for the last one. They would very clearly be accepted to Bethel. Like, they're very clearly desperate for volunteers.
Need your experience and your advice, and young ones are wise to recognize how much they can benefit from your wisdom. But we thank you for being ready to hand the job to these ones and then help them to succeed. Well, to conclude, we'd like to just mention one more prophecy that we are seeing fulfilled before our eyes. In this case, it's in the book of Psalms. And we invite you to turn to the 110th Psalm.
He means the continuous generations as tenor.
Psalm 110 in verse 3 says this: Your people will offer themselves willingly on the day of your military force. You have your company of young men just like dewdrops. Well, as we've discussed, Jehovah is speeding up the work. And so therefore, there is a need for more workers. Jehovah is willing to train you and entrust you. And Jehovah's organization is making arrangements for you to get involved as early as possible. Well, this verse reassures us that you young ones will...
Yo, Caleb, the annual meeting stream got shut down last time you did it. I can remember. I have never done it because last time I saw somebody did it, it did get shut down. So we'll see if we get shut down today.
By taking advantage of opportunities to glorify Jehovah in Bethel and in theocratic construction.
Bethel and theocratic construction. Because, construction is pretty much going to Bethel nowadays because that's where they make money.
But Bethel and theocratic construction is only part of the work. Is there continued to be a need for more workers in the field? Well, please give your attention to Brother Mark Sanderson, who will speak on the theme, Opportunities to Glorify Jehovah in the Field.
Oh my God, are we gonna see like, oh gee, he looks like he's wearing like a fake beard that you put like around your ears.
It was 140 years ago, in 1884, when Zion's Watchtower Tract Society was legally incorporated. Now, I know there are many gray beards here, but I understand that none of you were present on that occasion. That's reassuring.
There are many gray beards here.
It was just as Zechariah chapter 4 and verse 10 says, it was a day of small beginnings, really just a handful. But what has Jehovah accomplished in the field in the last 140 years? Today, we have nearly 9 million who are preaching the good news of God's kingdom in some 240 lands and with publications in more than 1,000 languages. Brothers, aren't we moved to glorify Jehovah for what he has accomplished?
He really does give me the vibe of like if Bethel was a person, you know? Just such a company man, such a virgin. According to him, by the way, I'm not using it pejoratively.
But how
He
did
has
we
to be a
get to
virgin.
this point? And what has been a major factor in the global expansion that Jehovah's organization has experienced? And what opportunities are open in the field for our young ones? Please watch.
Imagine actually thinking that you're 140
think
years
of a
into the last
missionary,
days. Yep.
Perhaps you think of someone older who has been preaching for many years.
Oh my God, this is about young people can be missionaries too.
In fact, in the mid to late 1940s, 30% of the missionaries sent from Gilead were under 24 years of age. They were young, energetic, full of life, willing
They
to
don't look
accept
like it.
assignments around the world, and they accomplished incredible things. For instance, in 1943, we were preaching in 54 lands, and the number of publishers was still relatively small. Jehovah blessed their hard work and zeal. In just 5 years, the number of publishers worldwide nearly doubled. By 1953, it had doubled again, and the reach of Jehovah's organization expanded to 143 lands. That 10-year burst of activity laid the foundation for Jehovah's organization to grow into what it has become today. Over 8 million people spread
The
across
voiceover sounds like Jake.
239
Yeah,
lands.
they definitely got like the youngest sounding, snarkiest sounding
Young missionaries
narrator for this.
privileged
Which
to
is,
fulfill
Jake would have been perfect for it.
preaching the good news of the kingdom for a witness to all the nations. But over 80 years have passed. Perhaps you're thinking, is there still a need for missionaries today?
Well, given that they're removing the hourly requirement, no, right? It really looks like a business video. It is. It is.
Well, what do the facts show? We see tremendous growth and potential for more growth around the world. What has happened just during the past service year? Mozambique had an all-time peak in memorial attendance of well over 400,000. That's more than 4 times the number of publishers in that land. Angola averaged over 900 new missionaries a month, new publishers a month. That's a lot, wow. The Congo branch averaged more than 1,300 new publishers a month. And in Philippines, on average, more than 1,000 were baptized every month. Well, brothers and sisters, in these places that are experiencing rapid growth, there is a huge need for more missionaries. But there are also needs in other lands. Many countries have been blessed to have longtime missionaries who have done excellent work. But many of those faithful ones have now passed on. Others have had to leave their assignments because of having to care for aging relatives or because of their own health challenges. So here's the question.
Armageddon
Is
didn't
there
come.
still a need for missionaries today? The answer is absolutely yes. There is a tremendous work to be accomplished in the world in missionary service. And enthusiastic and zealous young people are still being sent out every year to serve as missionaries. For example, recently, the service committee sent 36 new missionaries to Madagascar and 10 to Latvia. Well, now, how do these young missionaries feel about their privilege of...
This is pre-recorded. It's actually live. It's actually live. Like, we can get kicked out any moment.
Our main preaching need at the moment in Madagascar is training of new ones. We have new publishers who are not even baptized yet, having progressive Bible studies. So we were very happy to receive new young missionaries being assigned.
When our branch committee learned that we will get some new missionaries to Latvia, we were really thrilled.
We were 3 years special pioneers, and later we received this letter. I was thinking, Latvia? What do you know about Latvia?
My legs was trembling, but then I say, oh, it's exciting.
For me, it's still like a dream, and sometimes I'm asking Francie, Is it really real?
I was expecting maybe somewhere in Africa, and he said, no, no, you will have beautiful snow.
We've really felt these new missionaries invigorating the field. Their enthusiasm is really pushing the work forward.
Now many publishers are more active in service and pioneer spirit is increasing.
I felt Jehovah's blessing in our assignment, especially by the children in our congregation. When they
This is literally the same. We got people who are fully indoctrinated and we're interviewing them video that we're used to seeing from Jehovah's Witness. Like, even since before they did videos, like they do this. It's just testimonials of people who are doing what you're supposed to be doing and are happy about it.
Life focused on the preaching and enjoy everyday life.
It's okay to be afraid, to have doubts, but give Jehovah a chance.
Being a missionary is the biggest experience in my life.
My assignment strengthened my spirituality because now I know I'm not afraid of more difficult tasks.
I agree.
With all the ExJW channels popping out, they must have a lot of people dedicated to surveillance. I think I literally proved it wrong with the video that I just posted about me infiltrating the convention. So, you know, if you can watch it, that would be my argument against that idea.
And then after you've been in full-time service for 2 years, what do you need to do? You need to apply for the School for Kingdom Evangelizers. SKE is the door to missionary service. You also need to have the spirit of Isaiah when he said, "Here I am, send me," willing to go wherever the organization might assign you. After you graduate SKE, you could receive an assignment.
That's what Isaiah said. Isaiah said, "Send me wherever this organization may send me."
And if you do well in that assignment, you could receive an assignment to serve as a missionary in another country. Missionary service is a thrilling opportunity to bring the good news to honest-hearted people in another part of the world. We need young people who want to go and make disciples of people of all the nations. Well, how old do you need to be to apply for the School for Kingdom Evangelizers?
Oh, wow. Now teenagers can do this?
Well, we're very pleased to announce today that the governing body has decided that young brothers and sisters 21 years of age or older may now apply to attend SKE. Isn't that exciting and wonderful?
It used to be 25, right? It used to be like you could do it at 25 at SKE, and now you can do it at 21. Wow, isn't that exciting? Like, this whole annual meeting is about, we got 2 new governing body members, and also we are lowering the age for literally everything.
Young ones right now are serving.
Parents should make sure that children take advantage of this giant opportunity for them.
But we encourage you now to apply for the School for Kingdom Evangelizers. You see, this will allow the organization to see where you
absolutely
in the worldwide
know that they're getting fewer and fewer and fewer applicants. This is a move to get more applicants because they're getting fewer and fewer and they're worried about it. That's my take.
We're a bit older. What can we do to help these young people? Let's be generous in training them and in sharing with them our experience. Let's help them to grow and encourage them to reach out for these wonderful opportunities to glorify Jehovah. When I was just 19 years old, a brother invited me to attend my very first annual meeting. It was a special one, the 100th anniversary of the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society, held in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I was so excited, I thought I died and went to heaven.
Wow, hilarious. You get it? Because he's a governing body member and anointed, so he thinks that's what's going to happen to him.
That brother would invite me to attend when I was so young. But the encouragement from that experience has stayed with me right up until this very moment. Brothers and sisters, what will you do? What will you do to encourage a young person to glorify Jehovah. Certainly, Jehovah will bless you if you look for ways to do so. Well, the preaching work is more urgent than ever before. Will you read with me Romans chapter 10, please? Romans chapter 10 and verse 13. It says, "For everyone who calls on the name of Jehovah will be saved. However, how will they call on him if they have not put faith in him? How in turn will they put faith in him about whom they have not heard? How in turn will they hear without someone to preach? How in turn will they preach unless they have been sent out? Just as
How
it is
are they
written
going to be sent out if they don't even have to fulfill an hourly requirement now?
of those who declare good news of good things." We need young ones, as verse 15 says, to be sent out to preach the good news. We need young ones to serve as pioneers and special pioneers and missionaries. We need them to apply for the School for Kingdom Evangelizers. So
I mean,
Jehovah has accomplished.
He literally said it a lot, like they need them. They're doing this because they need them. Is that not just like my theory confirmed?
Brothers and sisters, the work is not over yet. Do you agree?
I mean, come on. He's literally saying it. We are doing this because we need this. Which just, I mean, it just confirms to me that they're doing this because the way that they were doing things is insufficient now.
Opportunities for our beautiful young people. So, young ones, what will you do? You can now apply for Bethel and construction service at age 18. You can apply for the School for Kingdom Evangelizers at age 21. Put yourself in Jehovah's hands. Make yourself available. You will never regret it. And may we as older ones do everything in our power to encourage and train these young people. Yes, as Brother Loesch said, let's keep polishing those mirrors. Let's keep looking for ways to expand our ministry and to glorify our wonderful, our amazing God, Jehovah.
Wow. So young people can just apply to everything. Like age has been lowered. Jenny Bloom says trying to rally the troops after a period of inactivity. It really feels like that, doesn't it? It really does feel like that. Like they have had like they have had a period of inactivity, and they're like,
What a
okay,
thrilling symposium.
this is just like a little period. Like this is just a phase, right?
By the adjustments to the age requirements for Bethel service and for the School for Kingdom Evangelizers. Did those changes come as a bit of a surprise to you? Well, that's sort of related to the next talk on our program. Brother Jeffrey Jackson will discuss the theme, Don't Be Surprised by Sudden Changes. Brother Jeff, you have our attention.
Don't be surprised by sudden changes? By Jeffrey
Well, I'm
A.R.C.
sure
Jackson?
we all agree with this fact. In
Oh
recent
my God,
years,
Jeffrey,
there've
that
been
is a
lot of-
preposterous beard. Just go back to the goatee.
Even since the last annual meeting, there have been many changes. Some of them perhaps are a little surprising or may seem to be sudden. But you know, brothers and sisters, when we look back on how these changes have come, we can see that Jehovah has gradually prepared us for each of these adjustments and changes. Let's review some of the recent changes we've had.
What changes have we seen with regard to our understanding of Bible teachings?
Is he priming us for a big change?
At the 2021 annual meeting, we received an adjusted understanding.
Wait, like this, if I was doing a gigantic change, like say a change for 1914, this is how I would start, by being like, actually, we changed a lot of things. Let me tell you.
It will be more like a period of probation. The unrighteous mentioned at Acts 24:15 will have an opportunity to gain everlasting life, but their names will not be written in the book of life at the time of their resurrection. To have their names eventually written in that book, these ones will need to respond positively to the great educational work that will take place during the 1,000-year reign. Then, at the annual meeting in 2023, we gained enhanced insight into what we do know and what we don't know concerning Jehovah's judgments. we learned that the door of opportunity for people to take a stand for the kingdom does not shut when the Great Tribulation starts with the destruction of false religion. At that time, perhaps some will be like the Egyptians in Moses' day, who took a last-minute stand and joined the exodus of God's people.
Yeah, I remember.
At the same annual
That was the
meeting,
biggest. That
we
was the biggest
adjusted our
change
views with
back
regard to
then. Now the Great Tribulation. Now you can repent when the Great Tribulation starts.
Sodom and Gomorrah. Also at that annual meeting, an adjustment was made regarding the reporting of our time and activity in our preaching work. Instead of focusing on reports, we try to make good use of every opportunity to witness. Then we received the 2024 Governing Body Update, number 2. In that update, we saw the need to adjust how we interact with those who have committed serious sins and have been removed from the congregation. What other major adjustments have we recently seen? In our preaching work, the emphasis now is on starting Bible studies and making disciples, not on distributing literature. To that end, the focus
Such a corporate way to talk about the changes in your religion, by the way.
using memorized presentations. Were you surprised by these adjustments? Perhaps so. But as we look back, we see how one adjustment in understanding gradually helped us with the next adjustment. Isn't it true that gradually Jehovah has prepared us? And when we look back on it, we see how logical this training has been to refine our understanding. But events in the world likewise have changed. It's true, sometimes in the world you have sudden changes, for example, the pandemic. But oftentimes, change in the world is gradual. Isn't it true with regard to the view of morality, homosexuality, abortion, even what's acceptable and not acceptable with regard to conduct? All of that has happened gradually in the world. And it's not until you look back and see how different.
Ty matches his face. Stop it. Stop it, Doss. Jesus.
That there have been a lot of changes. But this can be dangerous because as things gradually change, we may get used to gradual change and forget that there are some sudden changes about to occur. Let's take our Bibles, please, and if you turn with me to the book of Luke chapter 21.
Look, the fact that we're changing
Now,
some
this
small
is an
cosmetic
example
thing does not mean
of
that we
sudden
also don't need to
Luke chapter
change
21,
things that
notice
we
there in
got wrong
verse
on the big
34,
things, okay?
The words of our Lord Jesus are recorded, and he said in verse 34, "But pay attention to yourselves, that your
Go back
hearts
to
never
Jurassic
become
Park.
weighed down with overeating and heavy drinking
Stop.
and anxieties of life, and suddenly, that they be instantly upon you."
He's
It's
preparing him for a
interesting to
shock.
note
That's
that
what it
Jesus
sounds
had
like.
already said that this day he was referring to would occur at a time that we don't think is likely. So what lesson do we learn from what Jesus said? It's a warning, isn't it? That we can't just sit back and think, well, things are gradually going to develop. We know which way it's going, and maybe it's not going to happen yet. You know, we've got a little bit more wiggle room there with regard to the schedule. But you see, that's dangerous thinking. Now, what we're going to do is consider two examples of areas where perhaps we could be a little guilty with regard to that. For example, our view with regard to the number of anointed ones remaining on the earth.
That's literally
Now, for
what I was
many
talking
years,
about.
what did we think? We thought, well, that number would go down and down and down and down. Now, I don't know about you, but me, when that report came out, just how many partakers? And what were we thinking? Well, probably, maybe we didn't say it, but we were thinking, the number will go down, 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 and there'll be just a couple of old guys in a wheelchair
who will get their reward.
Oh my God, he
Well,
loves
I'm
making fun of
exaggerating, but that was
what they
sort
used
of
to
the
teach.
feeling, wasn't it? But now, what have we seen in recent years? Those numbers have gone up and up. And not only that, younger brothers have been appointed on the governing body. Now, I know what you're all thinking.
He's like, oh,
Do you
this just happened. Younger people have been appointed.
We know.
They just happened. We
Googling
didn't
now.
appoint. Ha ha ha! Our beliefs are so silly. Ha ha ha! Exactly.
But you see, we need to be careful about what we're thinking with regard to the number of anointed ones left on earth. You see, 19 years ago, I was appointed on the governing body. Even I thought I was too young. Now they tell me I'm not so young anymore. But do we see the point? What does the Bible actually tell us with regard to this? Well, it doesn't say the number would just dwindle down to just having a few older ones left. No. The great crowd of other sheep will be judged on the basis of how they deal with Christ's brothers. So that means the faithful and discreet slave, as well as all the anointed throughout the earth, will continue to be active in doing the work and wanting and needing your support, right up until the time that suddenly they will be reassigned. And isn't that what Matthew 24, verse 31 says? There'll be a gathering, the final gathering of the anointed from all different parts of the earth. So for us to think, well, there's some new ones on the governing body, they don't look too old. Maybe we've got a little bit extra time. No. Jehovah is making sure that the faithful and discreet slave is continuing to work and is effective right up until that time of reassignment. So that's one subject. The second subject we'd like to talk about is our view with regard to the start of the Great Tribulation, with the destruction of Babylon the Great. When we look through the scriptures, in Revelation chapter 16, what does it tell us? That the waters would gradually dry up. Yes, churches are losing support in some countries. For example, Europe. It wasn't that long ago that most nations in Europe were very religious. But now people are turning their backs on religion. But at the same time, when we look at Africa and South America, we see that religion still has a strong influence. So now, what could be that little voice in our mind saying, well, yeah, we see it's going in the right direction, but maybe not just yet. We've got a little bit more time left. But again, we need to remember what the scriptures tell us. And if you'd turn with me this time, please, to Revelation chapter 17.
He's like, we are literally changing every marker that we gave you as to when the end was going to come. But we still want you to maintain the urgency as if we hadn't done that.
So
what?
Read Revelation 17 and verse 17, and note, please, what it tells us. For God put it into their hearts to carry out his thought. Yes, to carry out their one thought by giving their kingdom to the wild beast until the words of God will have been accomplished. Now, what is this one thought? Well, up to now, we've said the one thought is their desire to turn on false religion. And we can understand that because the context is talking about the destruction of false religion. But you see, if you look back at that verse, what is the one thought? Now, this means we have to adjust our understanding, another change. What does it say? The one thought refers to the nations being willing to hand over power, their political power, to the scarlet-colored wild beast, the United Nations. Let me repeat it, because you're in shock now, and you need to write this down. Okay. The one thought refers to the nations being willing to hand over power to the United Nations.
Yeah.
Now, why is that exciting? Well,
the fact that nations will eventually turn on religion really isn't that surprising, is it? Gradually, we've seen that happening. We say, oh, yes, yeah, we see which way it's going. But what about nations empowering the United Nations, handing over their personal political power so the United Nations has more power? It has teeth, as it were. At the moment, it's like a toothless organization, isn't it? That seems unbelievable. No nation does that. But what is it that happens? It is an act of God. Jehovah puts that one thought into the minds of the nations. Yes, they will empower the United Nations so that the United Nations will be in a position to take action against false religion. Now, this adjustment in understanding also means that we have to adjust our understanding of verses 12 and 13. So if you're in Revelation 17,
what the fuck is he talking about? Honestly, I'm kind of lost. Like I don't really. I think they're changing their understanding on who the United Nations are in their book of Revelations. I think
received a kingdom, but they do receive authority as kings for 1 hour with the wild beast. These have one thought, so they give their power and authority to the wild beast.
Admitting that the UN is toothless feels like a direct rebuttal stuff from we ExJWs have been saying. This isn't an agenda at all. They literally already teach this, and I made a video about it like 2 years ago. It says, Jake, yeah, I'm very confused here.
They did this during the last days by supporting, first of all, the League of Nations and then the United Nations. But now, what do we understand this to be, seeing we understand verse 17? Well, there will come a time when all political powers on earth, which includes many who have never been part of the 7 world powers, they will see that they need to collectively pool their power by giving it to the United Nations to try and solve some of the problems in the world. And they will rule, notice what does it say, for 1 hour, just a short period of time. So this newly empowered United Nations, from that time on, will rule collectively for a short time, but it will enable them to destroy false religion and fight against Jesus and Jehovah's people. Now, isn't that exciting?
Yeah, I think Jason M says, are they using the UN as a way to describe the European countries ruling against JW's in court? Yeah, I think that this is kind of what he's saying.
Now we're back to our
the
subject
problem
again.
isn't the UN anymore. The problem is actually the governments who are ruling against us, I think.
I see Babylon the Great's losing influence in some places, maybe not yet. But don't expect that you'll see governments gradually wanting to give over power. They don't want to do that. It takes an act of God. Jehovah will put it into their hearts. This will occur with suddenness. Yes, then the Great Tribulation will start. A sudden change, not something that happens gradually. So what have we learned in our discussion? Well, yes, some things change gradually. But brothers and sisters, remember, there are some sudden things that are about to occur. Let's remember the 2 things as a reminder. First of all, the remaining anointed ones will suddenly be taken to heaven while they are still very active. The second one, Jehovah will suddenly move the nations to give their political power to the United Nations.
Jake says he's admitting that their UN teachings makes no sense, so he's saying that God will hypnotize all nations and the religious leaders will hand over power to the UN. Yeah.
Gradually change. No, some things won't gradually change. They will occur suddenly as acts of God. So be ready and don't be surprised by sudden change.
So he's saying like there's going to be like this gigantic change, which is like the religion, like giving the government's giving power to the UN, so this prophecy that we decided was a prophecy can be fulfilled. That's going to be the big change. Wow. All right. What a stupid cosmetic change to an already disproven prophecy.
Thank you, Brother Jeff. You've given us much to think about. We'll probably have to watch that talk a few times to get all the points.
Yeah, because it doesn't make sense.
Now, if you'd like to stand and stretch a bit, we have an opportunity to glorify Jehovah with a song of praise. And we'll sing
All right,
together
guys,
song number
I'm gonna play
111.
it.
Our
I'm gonna
reasons
leave it
for
playing because
joy.
I really need to go to the bathroom. Let's use this intermission real quick to talk about the changes that have happened so far. So we've got 2 new governing body members apparently. Garrett Lush announced it. We also have a slightly like new light. Like this last new light is pretty much what Jake said in the chat. They believe that the UN is somehow like it gonna like fulfill prophecy by turning against religion and all of that stuff, right? So now that the UN is more toothless than ever, right? Like now that it has been like it is the most toothless they have ever been. It has ever been. They're saying he's kind of admitting, you know what? Like this kind of makes no sense. So the only way that this would make sense is if God would hypnotize people, like all governments, into surrendering like their power to them. Which is why, like, that's the new teaching. Like, that's how it's gonna happen. The government, God's gonna like hypnotize the governments and just that, right? Like, it's very cosmetic. It's very stupid because it's just a tiny adjustment on an esoteric prophecy that doesn't really make sense anymore. And they lowered the age of pretty much anything like SKE, going to Bethel, like any kind of like service, any kind of work that you can do for free for the cult. You can do it now at an earlier age, sometimes even teenagers.
Jehovah's mercy expressed to those who had been removed from the congregation. It's a video entitled Blessings of Jehovah's Mercy. Please enjoy.
This is a video for people who have been removed, like disfellowship people. It's just they don't call them disfellowship people. I knew that I wanted to come back into Jehovah's love, but how? That's what the video says.
The governing body has prayerfully considered how Jehovah's mercy could be better reflected when dealing with wrongdoers in the congregation. In his love, Jehovah wants sinners to become reconciled to him, if at all possible. He doesn't want anyone to be destroyed, so he appeals to them to repent.
And we see these pictures, these illustrations about, it might be a drawing or something that shows a shepherd going after that one lost sheep.
The pictures are so
really
nice.
In concept, that's good, but it's not just an academic concept. It's reality.
The fact that he loves people in this way, even those who've been removed from the congregation, just gives me an opportunity to reflect
Academic
that same
concepts are
love that
reality.
Jehovah has and extend that to others as well.
The elders in our circuit promptly responded to the adjustments. Once they heard the update, we got the printed direction. The brothers promptly met together.
With the fellow elders, we all discuss how we can help.
So I
all
guess this
these
is just
ones
a video
in our
of
territory
how important it is for elders to follow the direction of the governing body whenever there's a change of things. Like that's it, right?
It's heartwarming to hear reports of how Jehovah has blessed
Oh my
congregations
God, Gary, bro, has a goatee. Oh my God.
from the congregation. For example, in the first 4 months after the 2024 governing body update number 2, in the South Africa and Philippines branch territories combined, more than 1,200 have come back to the congregation. Here in the United States branch territory, over 5,000 brothers and sisters have been welcomed back. In the Brazil branch territory,
So
some
this is basically, we
5,200
did this because we wanted people to come back, and then it worked because people followed direction. All right.
300 individuals have come back to the congregation. The numbers are exciting, but we can't overlook that each of these dear ones have returned to Jehovah, and Jehovah loves them.
That's a really bad beard.
One man came to mind because he's deaf and blind, and he'd been away from Jehovah for 45 years. We prayed with him. We asked him where he was with things.
They disfellowshipped a blind and deaf man?
That's what he said. He's been studying regularly and attending the meetings ever since then. And he was reinstated about a month later. So when I tactiled that announcement for him that night,
They were shunning a blind and what the fuck?
There's a pioneer sister in our circuit that was asked to conduct a study with
45 years.
a young mom who's trying to make her way back to Jehovah. She was so excited after the first study. She said that first study went so well. It seems like everyone in the congregation is very happy just to have this arrangement in place. A sister told me it made her so happy to see that young mom who's studying smiling again. She hadn't seen it in a long time.
And one experience that is exciting is there's this man who's been removed for over 30 years, but he started coming to the meetings early this year. But he would sit at the back and not talk to anyone. But eventually, after this arrangement has been made available, when we visited him, he was so excited because he said, I didn't know what to do to come back to the congregation. And here we are visiting him. And he says he felt like a heavy weight has been lifted off his shoulders, and he has been reinstated.
A young man that I studied the Bible with who came into the truth under great difficulty. And so we thought of him immediately. And right away, I sent him a message because I still had his phone number and said, please watch this governing body update that I
Hey, Libby, you're a Sigma. I'm not into furry stuff, but I respect anyone who is.
Message. And there was a photo of a letter that he had written to the congregation body of elders asking to be reinstated. I wrote back very excitedly and said, have you actually watched the update? And he said, yes, since yesterday I've watched this update 6 times. Well, of course, our hearts were absolutely overflowing. But it was even...
We can't even get Jehovah's Witnesses to watch the update like once.
About a month later, he was writing us to say, I have finally been reinstated.
The sister that was asked to conduct a study with a person, and she says, the greatest gift I've ever gotten is to study with someone who has been removed from the congregation. So her experience of crying with her, telling her that she liked her bag, and the student says, I bought this bag years ago so I could go out and service when I got ready, when I was reinstated, showed her that she had been trying for a long time to come back, but just did not know how. And so the student now realizes that that was Jehovah that is helping her, and she feels grateful to be helped to come back.
By sitting in on that Bible study with someone who was removed from the congregation and seeing the benefit helped me to see the depth of Jehovah's mercy, because this young man has been removed from the congregation.
This is literally just
years.
about, oh, look, this is so merciful. Well, does that not mean that it wasn't merciful before? That, that it wasn't Jehovah's mercy before?
One person had been removed from the congregation some 17 years ago. And
I hate this video. Listen, this is just them admitting that they were wrong before. This is the closest that Jehovah's Witnesses will get to doing that. And it feels like, it's if anything, you should revel on that. Like they're admitting that they're wrong in their own way.
And so he called the Kingdom Hall. He left a voicemail, and the brothers received his message. They reached right out to him. A Bible study was started, and very happily, he too has progressed to being reinstated, and his parents were able to fly in and be there at the Kingdom Hall that night. He was reinstated. He later said, this is truly a homecoming.
Oh, like that Spider-Man movie.
To see another side of Jehovah as our Father, and you see how much he loves his children, and then he allows us to have a part in helping them to come back to him, and so we get to reflect his mercy too. It's such a privilege.
Back in 1979, my father was removed from the congregation, and I was 8. You can grow up thinking, okay, maybe, my dad will come back in a decade goes by, 2 decades goes by, 3 decades goes by.
Jesus.
And you don't want to lose hope, but it does tend to make you think that maybe this person might not ever come back. I get a phone call, and it's a friend of mine I've known for many years. He and another brother went to go see my dad, and he even accepted a study. At this point, I said, wow. I said, that's great, because most of my childhood and my entire adult life, I have not known a father who was serving Jehovah. You should never, ever underestimate the lengths Jehovah will go to save one sheep. One sheep. So, yeah, it's...
Jesus. This man really, oh my God.
Yeah,
this man is happy because his own father is going back into the cult.
If you weren't a believer in Jehovah's mercy before, no one will ever be able to say, when everything is over in the system of things, that Jehovah didn't care enough. He didn't make the efforts. He didn't send anybody out.
Because it worked for him.
Yeah, you really can't say that.
Because his father is having a Bible study now. After being disfellowshipped for like 40 years. My mom texted me to make sure I was safe after Helene, but in the same sentence clarified that why she can't associate with me. These guys are ridiculous. Yeah, exactly.
Very touching indeed. But it wasn't just a one-time invitation.
Why is Gage Flegel crying? Why is Gage Flegel crying? He's all choked up. Why is he crying?
In imitation of our Father Jehovah, the elders continue to try to render assistance to those who have been removed from the congregation. They continue to reach out to them.
Do you think Gage Flegel got so choked up because he was he was pushing for like this change, and now he's actually touched that it worked? Because remember, I do believe that he's indoctrinated. So do you think that's why he got choked up? Oh, fucking Kenneth. Kenneth, just grow a beard like everyone else, Kenneth. Jesus
Well, we certainly have
Christ.
learned much during the past few years regarding Jehovah's mercy, haven't we? In fact, even just today, we've highlighted how we now have a broader understanding of Jehovah's mercy during the Great Tribulation. The May 2024 Watchtower
Not fake
stated
as hell.
this.
He's trying to act like he's
Even after the
have
Great
some sort of
Tribulation
emotion. No,
starts,
I think
it is
they're
possible
indoctrinated,
that
and I
some who
think that
see
was
the
real.
destruction of Babylon the
I
Great
think that was real. It's just
will
I don't know why.
recall that
I
Jehovah's
don't. I mean,
Witnesses
it may
had
be
long
for bad
spoken
reasons,
of
but
this event.
I do think it was real.
Might some who see these events have a change of heart? End of quote. Well, it could be. And if so,
Let him have a
we'll
smooth
be
face
happy
with
for
clown
them.
and the beard if he had it. Lol.
Then
We're
there's
gonna take
Jehovah's
everybody. We're gonna
mercy in
clown on them. Like
welcoming
obviously,
repentant
we're
ones
obviously
back
gonna clown on
into
them.
the
Like regardless of the
congregation.
choices
Again,
that they make.
we've
Yes,
been
yes,
highlighting
that is what we
this,
do in
and
the channel.
properly
Welcome.
so. What a beautiful thing. The August 2024 Watchtower stated, Jehovah does not condone unrepentant wrongdoing. However, he does not turn his back on wrongdoers. He wants them to return. Jehovah's feelings toward repentant wrongdoers are expressed at Hosea 14 and verse 4. And he says towards such repentant ones here, it's quoted in the article, I will heal their unfaithfulness. I will love them of my own free will, because my anger has turned away. The article continued, what a strong incentive for elders to respond to any sign of repentance. And what a strong incentive for those who have left Jehovah to return without delay. End of quote. Well, throughout the scriptures, we see Jehovah's warm appeal to wrongdoers, urging them to repent. At Zechariah 1 and verse 3, we read that Jehovah told his prophet, "Say to them, this is what Jehovah of armies says. Return to me, declares Jehovah of armies, and I will return to you." But does our increased understanding of Jehovah's mercy here mean that his righteous and just standards have somehow been changed? Also, in line with our theme, what things should we properly tear down, and what things should we desire to build up? According to Ecclesiastes chapter 3 and verse 3,
Jesus, why? I swear to God, like you have like pretty interesting shit. Like we have pretty interesting shit. This is the most interesting thing that they've produced like the whole year. Jehovah's Witnesses, but they're so boring. Like Kenneth, Jesus, why are you so boring? Kenneth is probably the most boring governing body member. Like, because at least Samuel Hurd has the excuse of being old, you know.
Righteousness, justice, and mercy. At Psalm 33 and verse 5. The inspired writer highlights that Jehovah loves righteousness and justice. Also, Jesus' words recorded at Matthew 9 and verse 13 highlight that Jehovah wants mercy, not sacrifice. Since Jehovah loves each of these qualities, how does he balance what he righteously chooses to tear down with what he mercifully chooses to build up?
Kenneth is old, but not as old as Sam.
By knowing how these qualities work together. Now, some things just go together. Let's just make it everyday, real life. To illustrate, for some people, an ice cream sundae, it's not complete unless it includes chocolate sauce, whipped cream, sprinkles, and what else? The cherry on top, right? The combination is what defines it.
Yeah.
Well, far more importantly, on a spiritual level, our love of righteousness and our acts of justice.
Cake is not a cake unless, for some, a cake is not a cake unless it has flour and buttercream.
We uphold all of his righteous standards. So to answer a question from earlier, James 1:17 tells us that Jehovah does not vary or change. And quoting Jehovah himself, Malachi 3 and verse 6 says, "I am Jehovah, I do not change." So then, Jehovah doesn't change, and his standards as to what is right and wrong have not changed. That is why recent adjustments to our view of God's mercy are just that. Adjustments to our view
is very shiny.
Understanding. Have you been able to adjust? Jesus too loves righteousness, justice, and mercy, and like his Father, he does not change. Hebrews 13:8 says of Jesus that he is the same yesterday and today and forever. This means that what Jesus did while he was on earth teaches us about his thinking now, right now. For example, Jesus displayed intense love for righteousness and justice by driving out the money changers from the temple area on 2 occasions.
There will be no in-person interviews.
The money changers were extorting the people, and they were turning Jehovah's house into a house of commerce, and Jesus hated that. He hated it. Jesus' zeal for what is right moved him to act, and in doing so, he also demonstrated his merciful concern for the people. Above all, we see in such actions the love that Jesus has for the pure worship of his Father. And because Jesus doesn't change, he still has the same desire to drive out what is bad. As the wickedness of this world increases, we know that Jehovah and his Son will always do what is right, what is just, and what is merciful. At Exodus 34, verses 6 and 7, we find a summary of Jehovah's balanced qualities. Now it reads in part, Jehovah, Jehovah, a God merciful and compassionate, slow to anger, and abundant in loyal love and truth, showing loyal love to thousands, pardoning error and transgression and sin, but he will by no means leave the guilty unpunished. Well, knowing that Jehovah will by no means leave the guilty unpunished, what things should we then help to tear down or send away from the congregations?
Ooh, this is a
At the
nice
same time,
banner.
knowing that Jehovah is merciful and compassionate, as stated there, what things should we then help to build up and welcome back into the congregation? We'll look at an interesting account in Zechariah chapter 5, as well as some other accounts, and find some answers. As we do, look for the lessons that we can apply to our efforts to show righteousness, justice, and mercy. So then, first of all, what should we tear down and send out? The concept of tearing down is not difficult to see when we think of it in terms of a building. Some houses are just beyond repair, and for this reason, they must be torn down. The house in this illustration makes that point, doesn't it?
Everything. That's why genocide is needed for our paradise.
Have that in mind as we consider what Zechariah saw. Now, Zechariah was a prophet who was favored with seeing some amazing God-given visions. And what he said describes real conditions that existed in Israel at the time. At Zechariah 5 and verse 2, we read that an angel asks Zechariah, "What do you see?" Zechariah replies that he sees a very large flying scroll depicted here. The flying scroll is written on both sides and contains a curse that tears down the houses of wickedness, leaving evil exposed. One side of the scroll targets those who steal. The other side targets those who lie or who make false oaths. After the house is consumed or torn down, he next sees an ephah container. It contains...
Guys, just FYI, we have 420 viewers, so I'm about to celebrate. I just wanted to let you know.
Exposed.
Thank you
and
for
the
watching.
angel treats her appropriately by throwing her back into the container and thrusting a heavy lead weight over it. The container with wickedness is then removed from the land. Expose, restrain, remove. The angel's actions leave no doubt about how Jehovah views such things. What lessons can we take away from the vision? Well, first, we see that Jehovah does not tolerate wickedness such as lying and stealing. We find scriptural examples of this in how Jehovah dealt with greedy Achan, or what happened with Ananias and Sapphira. We know those accounts, don't we? God's word lists many things that Jehovah does not tolerate. For instance, Proverbs 6, verses 16 through 19, speaks of Jehovah's hatred for a lying tongue, hands that shed innocent blood, a heart plotting wicked schemes, or a false witness who lies with every breath, and so forth. And Revelation 21:8 speaks of everlasting destruction for those who unrepentantly practice what is immoral. Well, next, we learn from Zechariah's vision that Jehovah uses his faithful angels to expose wickedness. The lesson? Treat wickedness like Jehovah and his faithful angels do by tearing it down, exposing it, and removing it from the congregation. Expose and remove. We do not want the conduct of unrepentant ones to take up residence in our congregations. That is why, since sin is still on the earth, the elders will continue to remove unrepentant ones from the congregation. Nevertheless, while there are things that we must send out from the congregation, what must we help to build up and welcomed back into the congregation. When wrongdoing is removed from among Jehovah's people, and they are united together in clean and pure worship, Jehovah sees this, and his people are blessed. Malachi 3 and verse 16 tells us that he is paying attention and he is listening. For those who properly
As
hear
segment
him, he
characterized by the
places
tendency to
their
forsake
names in
traditional
his
social
book
dominance
of
hierarchies of their walking a
remembrance.
solitary path. They are sometimes referred to as lone wolves as wanderers.
Even so,
I
to
told you,
keep
man. Like
his blessing,
I'm not
we
into
must
foray stuff,
also
but I
imitate his
respect anyone
mercy
who is. It's
and
fine.
remain ready to welcome back repentant ones. Like the concept of tearing down, the concept of building up is not difficult to picture when you think of it in terms of a building. Now, some houses are in bad shape, but they are not beyond repair like the one we saw earlier. They can be restored as illustrated on screen. It's in bad shape, but look at that. It can be fixed up. With that in mind, when it comes to welcoming back and building up repentant ones, we are helped to do this when we imitate Jesus and the faithful angels. They have not only witnessed Jehovah's mercy from the start, but they have developed this quality themselves. Here's what we mean. When humans were first created, mercy was not needed because humans were perfect. Only after the rebellion, when the first imperfect child was born, did this aspect of Jehovah's love and compassion become evident. Jesus and the angels witnessed Jehovah's great love in action when he extended mercy to humans who were born in sin. In turn, these faithful angels imitated their heavenly Father and showed mercy in helping to build up repentant ones on earth. For example, Jesus showed mercy to Peter, didn't he? And also to the woman who poured perfumed oil on his feet. Jesus used powerful illustrations to help us understand the depth of God's mercy. Just reading the parable of the lost son who returned in Luke chapter 15 makes the point, doesn't it? So like Jesus and the faithful angels, we desire to imitate Jehovah's precious qualities, all of them. That is why we seek to welcome back and build up repentant ones. We do this in harmony with the direction that the congregations have received. Now, regarding this direction, one person who was removed from the congregation wrote to the governing body, and this is what he said. The fact that friends can now say a simple, heartfelt greeting blows my mind. I have felt like a walking plague walking into the Kingdom Hall, as many friends avoided eye contact and would clear out of the way. But I get it. That was our understanding up until that time. Jehovah is an amazing, one and only true God. His love is always being manifested, as in this case. To direct you, brothers, to announce this new arrangement, I look forward to receiving a visit from the elders.
What the fuck?
Well,
This is the kind of testimony that you hear in a documentary about the evils of Jehovah's Witnesses. What the fuck is this? What is this?
But like that repentant one, he
Jerry
gets
this.
it. And see, we get it. Jehovah's helping us to understand why these changes come, and we comply, and we love it.
They are
As we
telling
have
on themselves for
considered,
no
Jehovah's
reason.
qualities of love and mercy, though, have
Why are
not
they saying this
changed.
out loud? Exactly.
But our understanding of his marvelous qualities, well, this has improved. Each of us must work to learn the depth of his love and mercy, and then show the depth of these things ourselves. At the same time, Jehovah's standards of righteousness and justice have not changed. Each of us must work to uphold his standards of right and wrong. Like the angel in Zechariah's prophecy, elders today must protect Jehovah's people by exposing, restraining, and sending out what is bad from the congregation. So in summary, while we do not hesitate to tear down wickedness and send it away, we desire to do all that we can to bring back and build up those who return to Jehovah.
This is insane. This was obviously like there was no change here. It was just about how evil it was. Their previous thing where you couldn't even say hi to somebody, and that you felt like you had the plague. That's crazy. Thanks so much, Tanner, for 5 big ones.
Yet
Thank you so
also
much.
his justice and righteousness. May we all continue to work hard to reflect those qualities in our life.
Bad talk, in my opinion.
Now,
This
earlier in
has
our
been
program, we saw
this has been the
trailer
worst
video
talk, or the worst thing that the Jehovah's Witnesses have put out there since they put out like that famous, infamous video of the woman like being shunned by her parents.
Let's now enjoy. Let's now enjoy the full-length epic episode, Become Jehovah's Friend, the Greatest Act of Love.
What? So they showed a trailer for the thing that they were just going to show in the meeting anyway? They just showed a trailer like an hour ago for the thing that they were just going to release anyway? Oh my fucking Christ. We're women doing traditional women stuff like baking pies and shit. Look, isn't it fun to bake pies because we're both women and we both like to bake? Oh, come on, Mom. Don't you love the pie that we've made? This is idyllic. Pixar 1.0, like they wish. Fucking Toy Story was way better than any of this. Come on, that was their first shot in 1995. This is just like, oh look, she's curing it because she's putting a little band-aid on it, just so it's just how grandma is super special to her because grandma's about to die. Like that's it. Like the purpose of grandma being so nice is grandma dying right now. Like grandma's about to die. Will this old lady die too? Yes, of course. That's literally why they introduced her. Like it's a new character that's about. There you go. There you go. Now it's all great because she's gone. There you go. Is grandma gonna die? Yes. Is this young Kamala? How timely. Stop. Oh man, like it's just this is so dark. Like, this is really not good for like kids who are blind and stuff, because this is just like, so far anyone who's blind or who's not like watching this, right? Is just I've just heard like laughter and then silence.
Oh.
Like, why don't they make this kind of shit more inclusive? Like, what the hell?
Thanks.
Just make it more inclusive for people. Like, most cartoons get it right.
Hey,
What the
soon we're
hell?
having a memorial, and you have to come. It's the most important event. This invite is for you and your mom. I can tell you more about it at our study. Okay, thanks. Bye. See you later, Sophia.
That's right, Camille. Okay, let's move on to the next paragraph. Do you mind reading?
Okay, sure. Many people hope for good things to happen, but they cannot be sure that their hope.
Okay. Now it's your turn. Life was perfect. Adam and Eve disobeyed Jehovah. They lost their perfect life and died. Right. After that, nobody was perfect. So everyone would grow old and die. Jesus came to earth and taught everyone about.
Keep asking my mom why none of their shit has a scribed video, but I guess since Jehovah is going to cure us in the new world, we don't need it. LMAO, it says blind Dave. Yeah, exactly. Like, that is also so stupid. Like, Jehovah's Witnesses have to believe that, if you have like if you're blind, or if you don't have like a finger or like a hand or like any kind of stuff, like, it's wrong, and you're gonna be cured in Armageddon. Like, what if God just made you like that? Because that's just who you are, you know? Like, it's just so stupid.
Because she loved me. Right. Jehovah and Jesus gave us the greatest gift. It costs a lot. But they gave it to us because they love us. And they want us to live forever. But what about my grandma? Their gift is for her too. There's somebody in the Bible I would like you to meet. She's a lot like you. Luke chapter 7. She lived in a city called Nain. She had a husband and a son.
I tuned out. What does this have to do with anything? It's their latest child indoctrination cartoon about how you should indoctrinate other children as your children. Like, because, you know, dead people are gonna come back alive or whatever. Thanks so much, Blind Dave, for the 5 big one super sticker from Canada. Please have some poutine for me.
She still had her son to keep her company.
That's cute. The chicken, you know, getting pushed, and then just how the chicken moves a little bit. I wish it moved a little bit more like a chicken, because you can really, like, you know, the chicken's like really like.
But then
they
her
put
son
their
died too.
like their head stays in the same spot.
They both
right?
died? She was already a widow, and now she was all alone. The day of the funeral, Jesus came to Nain, and he saw the widow.
By the way, this is a funny Bible story, because depending on which Bible verse, I mean, which gospel you're reading, the woman, the kid had either. Wait, isn't this? Is this no? Wait, forget about that. I woke up so early. All right, just forget about everything that I said. Millions now living can wear beards. Next, the chicken dies. Stop.
Young man, I say to you, get up.
I was confusing it with the Nam story. You know, the young girl who was resurrected. And a guy gets resurrected, and you know, is hugging the woman. For anyone who's just listening to this,
Why do you think Jesus brought him back to life? Because he loved them. Yeah, he loves all of us. He loves you. That's why he died for us. Jehovah brought Jesus back
he
to
hasn't
life.
come in 2,000 years.
Soon, Jesus will resurrect people. And because he died for us, we can all live forever. It's the greatest gift anyone could give us. When we go to the memorial, it's a way to say thank you.
Wouldn't that hug be incredibly stinky?
hope my
No,
mom
no,
wants to
Dave,
come
because
too.
obviously the smell of death gets removed from your clothes and all of that stuff as you are resurrected as well. Like as you're resurrected, your smell, like all of your like everything, just like you smell like whatever your perfume, like your favorite perfume was.
I'm so sorry. I don't think we can make it. to see you tonight. Let us know if you need a ride. It's Sophia's mom.
She literally said we can't make
Mom,
it, but
we can do
Sophia's mom is
this.
pressuring her.
Let's do it.
Yay!
See, even the mom in this indoctrination cartoon
Yes, my
doesn't
little
want to go to the
princess.
meetings.
I'm glad you're studying the Bible.
Me too.
Hold on, I need to open the door for Pee-wee.
At this time, we will have the passing of the wine.
Yes. You were the one who wanted to be in, okay? All right.
As we all go home tonight, think about what Jesus' sacrifice means to you.
I love it. As you go home, you think about it because it's not like we're gonna do it for you. We're like, if you want to indoctrinate yourself into the cult, then you kind of have to do it yourself. We're not gonna indoctrinate you into the cult. We decided.
Mom!
Come with me.
Wow, new paradise in Caleb and Sophia. Oh, there I am. Oh my God, I have new clothes. Now I'm dressed. Why is everyone dressed? Like even I am dressed in beige. Why is everyone dressed in beige? Like we know that I traditionally dressed in like in my traditional red shirt and brown pants, but now I'm wearing just beige. What the hell? Wait, why are the Israelites there? And she's looking for her grandma. Like, isn't the thing supposed to be like, you know, they're gonna get resurrected, like, you know, first the people who died last, and then, you know, the people who died earlier. Isn't that the point? Why are there Israelites over there? And why is she sad in paradise? I have so many questions.
Turn around.
Zoe!
Grandma? It's you.
My baby girl.
I missed you.
Grandma's here now.
I'm glad they had time to build this dreamscape before resurrecting people. Listen, it doesn't make
has
sense because
shown
it's her
love in
imagination,
many
all right?
ways. But when he gave Jesus life for us, that was the greatest act of love.
Look at all those old people. Most of them are old people. Do you feel like I'm just looking in the background and I just see lots of white heads? Oh, jeez. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. I was really concentrating. Jesus
It's
Christ.
remarkable how even Caleb and Sophia videos can touch our emotions. That was not brought to you by artificial intelligence, just so you know. Our brothers and sisters, dear brothers and sisters in audio video services, devoted thousands of hours. We wish to express thanks to them. And of course, we express thanks to Jehovah for this touching video portrayal. Brother Steve, I think part of that applause was for you. The next part of our program relates to the cherished hope
Brother
of living
Steve?
forever. And Brother Let has been experiencing a little bit of back pain, but he is improving. So he just wanted us to relate that before his next talk. But he will discuss the theme, everlasting life. Possible? Boring? Brother Let, you have our attention.
Oh my
The
God.
good news that we
Oh my
preach
God.
has many facets, many aspects, like a gorgeous, multifaceted diamond. But now, what is one facet that we especially enjoy teaching people about?
Let looks
The
like
fact
he
that
aged
faithful humans
10 years since the last time
under
we saw him.
kingdom rule
Really?
will never
Like he
grow
aged 10
old
years.
and die. Unlike Adam and Eve, who threw away the privilege to eat of the tree of life and live forever, faithful humans will be granted life without end. But now, sometimes when we discuss this aspect of the good news, people will bring up a couple of questions. One, they may say, is everlasting life really possible? It just seems like it's too good to be true. And two, if I actually do live forever, will life not eventually become boring? Well, let's discuss those two questions during our talk. Now, first, how can we be sure that everlasting life will become a reality? The first and foremost reason, because the God who cannot lie has promised it. Revelation 21:4, Jehovah says that he will wipe out every tear and death will be no more. And then, in effect, he publicly signs that promise. In the next verse, verse 5, he says, write, for these words are faithful and true. In other words, write it down where everyone can see what I promised, and I certify it will happen. I guarantee it will. But now, here's a question. What evidence do we have that humans originally were designed to live forever? Well, think about the first book of the Bible, the
He's
introductory book.
letting himself go. Stop, man. Come on.
If they ate from the tree of the knowledge of good and bad, they would certainly die. Now, what is implied? If they didn't eat, they were faithful, obedient, they would still be alive. They would never die. How old would Adam be now? A little over 6,000 years old. Eve, a little bit younger. How would they look? Just as beautiful, handsome, perfect as the day they were created. What would be their health condition? They would feel just as healthy and vibrant as the day they were created. Now, we know they did sin and they died, as Jehovah said. But his original purpose was for them to live, and that purpose will be fulfilled, as scriptures in the Bible certainly verify. What's another line of reasoning that we were originally designed to live forever? Well, think about the astounding capacity of the human brain. Now, scientists in recent years are finding out more and more that the brain has much more capacity than they previously thought, even just a couple of years ago. Here's what a recent study had to say about this.
Oh, is it gonna
The
be like
average
we only use 10% of our brains?
human brain's memory capacity is estimated to be 2.5 million gigabytes. Now, if you want to compare that with a smartphone, the average smartphone, 150 gigabytes. 2.5 million gigabytes, the brain? 150, a smartphone.
Jesus.
No comparison. In fact, that study went on to say that the brain would never run out of storage capacity because new memories keep replacing
We're
old
both wearing
ones.
Masonic rings. There you go.
That happens because new neural connections are formed. So the brain was obviously designed to last forever, never fill up. Don't give me your name. Don't give me any more information. My brain is full. I can't take it. No, never reached that point. See, brain could always take more. Jehovah made it that way. You want to get a little maybe idea about the capacity of the human brain. Think about the tremendous download that Jesus received at his baptism. Eons of time, the memory of that all downloaded the human brain that Jesus had was able to hold that. See, it was a human brain, perfect, but a human brain. The brain obviously is a very, very big place in a very, very small space, isn't it? That certainly is the case. Now, here's our intriguing question. Why would Jehovah create us with a super brain, super capacity, if we're only designed to live 70 or 80 years? Wouldn't even make sense, would it?
Use all of it.
That would be like making a smartphone with 2.5 million gigabyte capacity, knowing that the user would only use a few hundred gigabytes in his whole lifetime.
No,
or
we
like
use all
building an automobile with
The fact that you're an idiot and don't use all of it does not mean that as a human you use all of it. You use all of your brain, all right? You use all of your brain. If anything, why did God create a brain that is just that consumes so much resources, like Jesus, and that makes it so painful for women to give birth? Like why was that in the design?
Go to Ecclesiastes, please. Ecclesiastes chapter 3 and verse number 11. We'll read the A part.
Enough room for new light. Come on.
Says he, Jehovah, has made everything beautiful in its time. He has even put eternity in their heart.
Come on.
Now, what does that mean? Well, Jehovah has implanted in the hearts of humans the desire, the strong craving to live eternally, to live forever. Now think about it. Isn't it true? When death lurks at a person's door, we see they keep trying to live, don't they? They will pursue doctors, medicine. They will
Unlike
endure.
you just came out of surgery, dude. Like, what the fuck are you talking about right now?
He wished to die. Most would keep pushing that day first.
And you literally will not die. Like, you believe you literally will not die. Like, you will just be swift. Like, most of us will die and then get resurrected. You will just continue on living.
For the fountain of youth, a medicine, an elixir, a potion to keep them living. And the search certainly continues today. But now here's our intriguing question. Why would Jehovah create humans with that strong desire if they're only meant to live 70 or 80 years? It'd actually be cruel, wouldn't it? Be kind of like, you think of this illustration, tying a dog.
Existence is cruel.
On a 20-foot chain and putting a juicy
did God create animals to be able to suffer, and then create other animals that eat them alive, causing them the most suffering? Like, you know, that's kind of fucked up. You know, like if you really buy into the whole God thing, he's kind of fucked up.
Not a cruel God. He's a very loving heavenly Father. Well, the foregoing is just a few reasoning points that humans were designed and will live forever. Now let's get that second question. Why do some people reason that living forever would be boring? Well, some reason that if everyone lives forever, they're all perfect. Will they not all eventually become carbon copies of each other, with variety being lost? Well, that reasoning is not sound. Our publication, Is This Life All There Is?, addressed that shallow reasoning. Here's what it said. It said, life in human perfection does not mean that everyone will be doing all things equally well and with the same intense interest. What the Bible holds forth is the promise of life without sickness and death. Healthy people today are not all alike. So why should anyone conclude that bodily and mental perfection would make people virtual copies of one another? People will still vary as to personality. They will have varying preferences as to work, building, home decoration.
For the 5 big ones, my sis asked my Pimi Mom what she was allowed a radiation tattoo, but not a blood transfusion. God says no to tattoos, no blood, right? Yep.
Additionally, think about this.
Although,
is
you know, he
nothing,
literally says no to tattoos and then no to
boring
and then no
about
to not to
Jehovah
shaving. So, you
or
know.
any of his creation. I personally can't think of any two things that are exactly identical. Even so-called identical twins you're looking at here. Notice their teeth are different. Their
There are things
freckle
that are identical.
pattern
Like
is different.
atoms
Their fingerprints
are identical when they are from the same
They are certainly not identical. In
uh
fact, there are no two dogs, no two
element.
trees, no two
What are you talking about?
tigers, no
You're
two
just
things
going
I
way
can
too
think
big,
of that are
obviously.
exactly alike. Think about zebras.
But if you go small
for a
enough, yeah,
moment.
you will definitely
Now, you look
find
at this herd of zebras, you
lots of
they're
like
basically all
same
striped the
things
same.
over and over and over and over and over
No
again.
two zebras on the planet striped exactly
Notice that
the
he
same.
had different spiritual food for
And
adults.
scientists even think that this is how a baby zebra recognizes and finds his mother in a big herd. He memorizes her unique striping pattern. Isn't it amazing what evolution can do?
Isn't
If
it
you believe
amazing
that,
what
I've got a bridge to
evolution
sell
can
you.
do? Oh my God, what a fucking idiot.
What Jehovah has done. Or think about snowflakes for a moment. Out of the trillions of
This is
snowflakes that
a
fall
common
in one large
misconception.
snowstorm,
There have
no
been
two
identical
alike.
snowflakes. It's just they are
Amazing, even though
extremely
all
rare.
of them are six-sided.
There
as you can
are
see
though.
here. They're
If you look for
hexagonal,
long enough, you'll
but
find
no
them.
two alike. Nothing boring about Jehovah. And you can be sure that humans who are the work of the hands of a God of that kind of infinite variety will never become carbon copies of one another. Now, another reason, though, that people think, some of them, that living forever would be boring, they think that finally you would learn everything there is to learn, you'd do everything there is to do, and life would cease to be stimulating. It would become drab and uninteresting. Well, again, such reasoning is not sound. First of all, to repeat something that is pleasurable is not boring, is it? I mean, think about eating. Most people eat over 1,000 meals in a year. Does a man who is 40 years old eating over 40,000 meals, is he more bored than the 20-year-old who's eaten 20,000 meals? No, that certainly is not the case. Think about apples. How many varieties of apples have you personally tasted? Maybe a couple of dozen. Fiji, Gala, Rome, Macintosh, Red and Golden Delicious, Granny Smith, Jonathan Winesap. Maybe you've tried a couple dozen.
All of those apple.
Studies
All of those
show
apples.
there are more than 7,500 varieties of apples grown on the earth. If you sample
All of the apples that he quoted were made by humans. They were not made by man, all right? They were made by humans. They were bred by humans. They did not exist in nature. They did not exist in paradise.
20 years later, back and eat that first one you sampled, it'd be like a brand new variety, wouldn't it? Nothing boring about Jehovah's
Why would it be
creation.
like a brand new
Think
variety
about
if you went back to like have the first apple that you tried after trying all the 2000s? If you are in
You go back into the
in
same
paradise,
area, you
does
take
that mean that you're just gonna keep forgetting about shit, and then there's just gonna be like, you know, eons that you've lived that you just don't remember in your head? That's fucking terrifying.
is that you will never learn it all. We will never do it all. Learn it or do it all. Let's go back to Ecclesiastes chapter 3. And this time, let's read the entire verse. Verse number 11. He, Jehovah, has made everything beautiful in its time. He has even put eternity in their heart. Yet mankind, now look at that word, will never find out the work that the true God has made from start to finish. So Jehovah says you'll never learn it all, you'll never do it all. How long would it take you to learn to play all the musical instruments that exist today to learn to play them well. People spend their whole life learning to play one instrument, don't they? When they die, they wish they had more time to develop that skill. What about new instruments, even invented in the New World? You brothers, imagine living 100 years with a beard, 100 years with just a mustache, 100 years with a goatee, 100 years clean shaven. Then go back and repeat that process with different variations. Imagine living 100 years in a beautiful house that you built in the mountains, you and your family, and then trading that house
stupid.
with a house that
This is just so stupid. First of all, this isn't what you teach. What Jehovah's Witnesses teaches is that you be assigned to live in places, right? There won't be this kind of independence that Stephen is talking about. And second, like,
but now it's
if you're gonna live forever, why would you just live 100 years in one place? Wouldn't you want to live like maybe like 1,000 years? Just in one place, just to like get to learn everything there is to know about that place, geology-wise, biology-wise, like everything, and then just move. Like, wouldn't that feel like? I feel like I could come up with like far more interesting things to do if I was able to live forever.
22 years he spent studying fleas. He is a flea expert. Probably doesn't know much about anything else, but he knows about fleas. 22 years.
Imagine making fun of
Imagine
a scientist
getting
that
to
spent
know
his life
and
pursuing
every
knowledge
human
for science,
among the billions,
not for profit, for the betterment of society.
every one of them,
Fucking
learning from
asshole.
their talents, their experiences, coming to regard them as a dear friend. Just one example. Wouldn't you like to spend some time with Noah's wife? I know I'd like to know, what is your name? Right now, all we know is Sister Noah, right?
You heard it here first. It's Stephen Led would like to spend some time with Noah's wife.
Protect your son from the evil influence that was around you. What was it like in those years before the flood? What was it like to come out of the ark? You could spend a lot of time with Noah's wife, couldn't you? Imagine learning about each one of the more than 200 billion stars in the Milky Way galaxy. And then after you do that, you can go to the next galaxy. And they estimate there are more galaxies than there are individual stars in the Milky Way galaxy. Now you think of that, it gives you a headache, doesn't it?
I mean, at least this is interesting, you know?
A lot of time could be used there. Even more impossible. Imagine learning about Jehovah throughout all eternity. We will learn more and more fascinating things about our God and never begin to learn it all. Well, we could go on and on, but hopefully we could use some of these points if we ever encounter someone who brings up that reasoning. Is it really possible to live forever? It's not only possible, it's guaranteed, isn't it? And it definitely will not be boring. And hopefully all of us appreciate even more this marvelous prize that Jehovah has invited humans to reach out and take hold of. Don't miss it. Don't miss it. Reach out and take hold of the real life.
Jesus. Yeah, very nice, Stephen. I feel like they're applauding even more because everyone is like, this is probably his
As
last
always,
speech.
you've
He
given us
looks
much to
very
think
close
about,
to
Brother
death.
Steve. Many thought-provoking illustrations as well. Thank you so much. At last year's annual meeting, we received a new brochure, Love People, Make Disciples. And we embraced a new approach to our ministry. How's it going for you? The following video will share a few experiences related to our new approach to the ministry. Let's watch.
Did I enjoy memorizing presentations? No.
I think I just got used to memorizing presentations. It was something we did since we were kids.
I found that it was kind of hit or miss in the way that people responded. Sometimes they responded well, sometimes they didn't.
I'll go to
because
the
maybe
bathroom again because
there wasn't a
I've been
subject
drinking
that
so much
interested
coffee.
them.
When I was feeling kind of unsure, like what to do, I'd probably just bail out with, well, I don't want to take too much of your time right now. And it was nice talking with you, and maybe some other time.
I read and studied the brochure completely. Honestly, I thought that I got this. I didn't.
When we first got this brochure, I was very intimidated because I was so used to the method that we used before.
I was at the airport, and the guy behind me, he's complaining about the heat in Florida and that the only reason why he was there is because of a funeral. I stopped him and I said, "Excuse me, I overheard you saying that you were here for a funeral. Who died?" And he said, "My mother-in-law." Then I remember I have a magazine about comfort for those who grieve. And then I pulled the magazine out and the conversation was done. In my mind, I said, wah, wah. He ain't gonna talk no more. He didn't.
I love our new approach because people can see Jehovah's people as loving.
I love it. She was like, "Excuse me,
not just preachers.
Did I just hear you say you are in an emotionally vulnerable state right now that I can take advantage of to indoctrinate you? Excuse me?"
You feel more relaxed, and oftentimes the conversation is naturally going to go there.
And sometimes it doesn't lead to opening up to a scripture. It's just talking about their crazy situation at work or something else going on in their family. But it's okay because I made a friend.
So this lady I was about to pay, and she had these
Very colorful
long,
nails.
colorful, decorated nails, and it's like she wanted me to say something
Yeah,
about
she
her
definitely
nails.
wanted to make a statement with them.
So I said,
Oh my
"Girl,
God.
your nails
was
look
looking
good."
to make us get the
And
fuck
she
outta
was
here.
like, "Oh well, my nails have a meaning," and I'm like, "They do?" And she's like, "Yeah, this I want to support
Domestic violence
Domestic
abuse.
Violence Awareness Month." And I'm like, "Whoa, you really care about people." Yeah, we
too.
went to the website.
Yeah, we showed the website.
And the featured article for that month was literally about domestic abuse. And she got to see some Bible principles, and she took that with her. And we had a good conversation.
Wow.
My wife and I were working together.
Oh,
in
wow.
Turkey, and we were walking back.
What an amazing story.
We saw a man across the street in the block that was already done. And we asked him how his week has been going. That led to us asking what sort of work he did. From that bit of interest, he really appreciated it. He loved what we had to say. And so he actually just asked out of the blue for a study. After we showed him the Enjoy Life Forever brochure, he's attended many meetings and been a good return visit.
When I entered a shop, I started a conversation with the owner. I asked, "How long have you been doing this job?" We talked about a lot of things. Then, naturally, she started expressing how she always had questions about life. I then offered a Bible study, and she accepted the offer with interest.
Wow.
From then on, we have been studying each week, and about 5 months have passed, but we continue to enjoy the discussions.
I was walking through a park one day and I saw a family, had a beautiful conversation, asked a few questions, and listening to them, I was really able to hear.
Do the attendants have to sit through this long meeting for so long? Yes. But I mean, this isn't even as long as
offered a Bible
half
study.
a
She's been
convention. So
studying
yeah.
now every week, and she attended the convention for the first time this year, and she's been attending meetings.
Typical field service success stories. You're totally right. Like they're like, this is so good because now that we've changed this into the direct approach method, we have had the same kind of success stories that we are used to hearing. Wow.
Potential servant of Jehovah as one of my brothers and sisters.
I don't want to be that obstacle. Let me listen. Let me be patient. Let me be humble and wait to see at the right time. But my goal's still the same. We're going to talk about my God, Jehovah. It's just not so fast.
Oh my God. So she's like, oh, I'm going to use this opportunity to indoctrinate you. I'm going to take my time. What the hell? The website had an article about domestic abuse, violence during Domestic Abuse Awareness Month. Truly a modern day miracle. Yes, exactly.
So may all of us continue to show love for people and continue to try to make disciples. Earlier this year, we received the soundtrack to last year's convention drama, Commit Your Way to Jehovah.
Rindala is
Have
so
you found
nice.
this
Like
to be
she's
inspiring,
giving me like snacks
encouraging?
and stuff because she knows that I woke up early and I need like food if I want to like stay up and shit.
Well, you'll be happy to know that the governing body has approved preparing multiple soundtracks for the Good News According to Jesus.
Wow, that's amazing, man.
The-
That's awesome. What an amazing thing.
Would you like to hear a sample?
Yes, sure. You know, at least he feels a little bit more human.
Let's listen to
than
some
normal.
audio excerpts of this soundtrack.
Is it just this? Really? We're just gonna listen to some soundtrack now? They're gonna release the soundtrack? What? I thought that it may mean like soundtrack and like audio descriptions or something, you know? It's just soundtrack? What the hell? Oh my god, wow. That is amazing. This is just this it feels like they downloaded like epic music on YouTube. There you go. Like this is the same thing. This is the same thing that Jehovah's Witnesses are listening at their convention. It's the same thing. It's the same thing, guys. It's the same thing. I mean, guys, exactly. This is the music. Oh my god, exactly, Lo. This is the music you'll be peeing to at the next convention. Oh my god, that is so fucking accurate. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. That is such a good take that I'm gonna steal that joke and in my because I'm gonna make a video about this. I'm gonna steal that joke and I'm gonna pretend that joke's mine. Like, oh my god. It just that is just the perfect take. This is so stupid. Look, this is so long as well. Like, we're still listening to it, guys. We're still listening to it. Like, what the hell? So, like, it's just soundtracks. What's next? Show tunes. Yeah. In fact, they're gonna next thing they're gonna reveal is the young people JW broadcasting segment. Ding 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 ding. You know, like that the young people segment. They're gonna release the JW broadcasting music next. Like now you can download it in your to listen to in your MP3 player. Like, what is this? What is this? Oh my god. Jesus Christ. Exactly, like this is exactly like listening to royalty-free music. Like, you can literally get the same feeling from royalty-free music on YouTube right now. There are more songs like this on YouTube that you can ever listen to, ever. The only reason why Jehovah's Witnesses may feel like this is special is because this sounds Jehovah's Witnessy. This has this Jehovah's Witnessy sound. You know, the high violins, the slow pace, and with, you know, Jehovah's Witnesses use a lot of violins. I don't know if you notice it, and a lot of like flutes and stuff, like a lot of high tones. I've noticed. And this feels like Jehovah's Witnessy royalty-free music. Like if Jehovah's Witnesses produced royalty-free music, this is how it would sound like. It's just I can imagine the Bethelites crying while playing this frog mood. Stephen led fucks to this, all right? Let me just tell you. He fucks to this. Wow, amazing. Look, people over here, they're probably going to be crying. Oh, they don't show the audience. Fuck you. Jesus, come on. The one time I was looking forward to seeing something in the annual convention. Jehovah's Witnesses always
Music for
disappoint
the
me.
good news according to Jesus is very important to the governing body, and so we're happy to share
Governing body,
these
great.
excerpts with you. You'll be happy to know that the release of the first soundtrack to GNJ will be in the late spring or early summer of 2025. Well, the time has come for the concluding part of our program.
Oh!
And it's a special treat. That's all I'm going to say. Brother David Splain will now give the talk, Give Jehovah Glory.
Oh, let me just refresh it in a different stream. And let's just share this tab instead.
And just
This
to
will
be
refresh.
clear,
There you go.
I am not the special treat.
I mean, you are though. Oh, how smarmy! Like, oh, I hate.
Well, I
David
don't
Splain.
have to tell you that many people today are totally self-absorbed.
Like you.
They spend
The
a
leader of
lot
a
of
cult.
time on the internet, a lot of time on social media, talking about themselves, talking about their own accomplishments. And that's in contrast with Jehovah's people, because Jehovah's people are concerned with giving God glory. And this is in line with what we read at Psalm 96 and verse 8. Now, this is the only text we're going to read during this talk. And I am going to have a look at 3 words in the phrase that we're going to be reading. So please, let's look it up. I'll give you a moment to find it. If you're like me, sometimes it takes a little while to find things in the Bible.
He always does that, by the way.
Psalm 96.
He was like,
And
I
verse
will give you
8.
time to find it on your Bible.
And it's just the first clause, the first phrase that we're going to look at. It says, give Jehovah the glory due his name. Give Jehovah the glory due his name. Now,
Exactly,
what were
Jake.
the circumstances
Splain's always kind enough to give people a moment.
during which these words were first spoken? They were first spoken on a very happy occasion, a special spiritual occasion. They were first spoken, they're part of a song. And that song was first composed by David when he was bringing the Ark of the Covenant back to Jerusalem. So you can imagine the joy with which these words were spoken. And finally, eventually, that song became part of the theocratic songbook that the Israelites used when they were praising Jehovah.
Oh my God.
We're going to
They had a
focus
songbook.
on 3 words in this phrase that I just read. Glory, due, and name. Give Jehovah the glory due his name. Now, when you think of the word glory, what comes to your mind? If you're like me, you probably think of a blinding light, a light that's so intense that you have to shield your eyes. And you might think of the words of the Apostle John when he wrote that God is light. And so you might ask yourself, how could an imperfect person like me give God glory?
If you're like me, if you're humble like me.
Well, it all comes together when we appreciate what the scriptures mean by glory. Now let's be real simple. Glory in the scriptures means anything that makes someone or something impressive. I'm going to repeat that. In the scriptures, glory means anything that makes someone or something impressive. Now, with that simple definition in mind, we realize that we can bring glory to God in our preaching work. When we tell
That's
others
the least
how
impressive
wonderful
thing ever.
Jehovah is, how impressive he is. We have many reasons to boast in our God. Our God is merciful and compassionate. Our God is empathetic. When we feel hurt, he feels hurt. Our God is humble. He shows concern for widows and orphans and others who are often neglected by society. We also bring glory to Jehovah when we give him credit for our accomplishments. David did that. Remember what David said? By God's power, I can scale a wall. But we can give glory to God without saying a word. Think of the heavens. What does the Bible say about the heavens? There is no speech, and there are no words. Their voice is not heard. And yet, what does the psalm continue to say? The heavens are declaring the glory of God. We can't help but be impressed by Jehovah's creation. Well, so much for glory. Give Jehovah the glory due his name. Now, we give someone his due when we give him what's rightfully his. And Jehovah has an absolute right to receive glory from men. We're reminded of what the 24 elders said, as recorded at Revelation chapter 4 and verse 11. They said, "You are worthy, Jehovah our God, to receive the glory." Give Jehovah the glory due his name. What about God's name? Well, we were thrilled when we first learned that God has a name, and that prompted some of us to study the Bible and come into the truth. Now, if learning that God has a name had that effect on you, don't you think that it could also have that effect on people in your territory? Have you asked people in your territory recently, would you like to see God's name in the Bible? Or have you ever seen God's name in the Bible?
Oh my God.
That could lead to some very interesting discussions.
Exactly.
A
Like,
missionary
hey, why is
serving in a
God's
country
name
where
only
most
in
of
your
the people
Bible and not
believe
in my
God.
Bible?
They're not Catholic or Muslim, but they all believe in God. They don't know much about him. But I like the way he reasons with them. He says, when you want to become friends with someone, the first thing you do is introduce yourself. You tell him your name, he tells you his, and you become friends. Well, we all want to be friends of God. So a good first step is to find out his name. And then he reads the Bible, God's name in the Bible. We give God glory when we defend his name and his reputation. But what does the name mean? Well, many scholars say it means he causes to become. And we know that Jehovah can cause us to become whatever he wants to be. So
He calls us to
think
become.
about what we heard earlier in this program today. If he wants us to become a missionary, if he wants us to work in construction, if he wants us to be a special pioneer or to serve at Bethel, Jehovah can give us the strength, he can give us the ability to do that. And all we have to do is put our trust in him. Now, like the heavens, we can sometimes give God glory without saying a word. How? By our fine conduct. How many unbelievers have come into the truth, sometimes after being violently opposed for years, because of the conduct of their Christian mate and children? How many unbelievers have been impressed by the way we take care of one another and others when disaster strikes? And so we think about the words of Jesus in the Sermon on the Mount. When people see our fine works, they give glory to our Father in heaven. Jehovah is also glorified when his servants respond to the leading of his Spirit in their Christian life, when they become more humble, more loving, more trustworthy. Now, if you're an appointed man, have the elders found you to be more reasonable, more tactful, more yielding over the years? When they see those changes in us, our brothers and sisters don't fail to give credit to Jehovah God, and Jehovah God is praised. So in 2025, let's give serious thought to ways we can give God glory. And to remind us, those words, the words of Psalm 96:8, are going to be posted in our kingdom halls as our year text. So what's the year text again? Psalm 96:8, give Jehovah the
New Year
glory
text. Should I
due
update the new light tracker because there's no New Year text? Wow. Just give us the new light already. Explain.
Now, there's a poem entitled Give Jehovah Glory. And I'm going to read it to you. We don't do poetry in our publications because it's too hard to translate. But this is a good one, and I'm going to read it to you. It's entitled Give Jehovah Glory. Who is like you, O Jehovah, high on your heavenly throne?
Who wrote this?
How could I ever repay you for all of the love you have shown?
Did he write this?
When I look up to the heavens, power and glory I see. Who then am I, O Jehovah, that you would show favor to me? My life is yours, O Jehovah. May all I do bring you praise. Gladly I'll speak of your goodness and tell of your glorious ways. Serving you, great God Jehovah, fills me with honor and pride. You are my strength and my glory. Forever may you be my guide. Oceans and valleys below me, sun, moon, and stars up above, fill me with joy and with wonder, and show me your unending love. Majesty,
That didn't rhyme.
wisdom, and beauty, these are the things that I see. How could I not give you glory for making it all come to be?
Please applaud. That's where he wants to come in. Because I have a pizza and he's.
Those words were composed for a very happy occasion, a spiritual occasion. They're part of a song, an original song that was composed specially for this annual meeting.
There you go.
And guess what? Guess what? We are going to sing that song at the conclusion of this meeting.
What? The song that nobody knows? I mean, it's not like he said who the author was.
I said to the governing body, "Are you sure?" And they said, "Oh yes, they have tremendous confidence in your musical ability." Now, just so you know, the governing body has decided that from now on,
The governing body
a
has
new
decided.
original song based on the year text is going to be featured at each annual meeting.
Wow. How amazing.
The brothers in music services are busy working on the one for 2026. Now, during the past 2 months, the music team and translation services all around the world have been working feverishly to translate, record, and mix the
Feverishly?
song. And
That
as a
doesn't
result
sound
of their
good.
efforts, when this talk is released on October the 14th, the song will be released simultaneously with the English in over 400 languages.
Dude, you just came in. I'm not
So-
gonna open the door for you.
Let's see how those words sound when they're put to music. Now remember, we're going to be singing this song at the conclusion of the meeting, and we don't want anybody just moving the lips with no sound coming out. There is a reason why we call it
how
a song.
annoying! How
So pay
annoying and
attention
smarmy!
and enjoy. Give Jehovah glory.
Oh, there you go. Now you can hear it. Now you can hear it because it's not over yet. It's just so you can hear it, so you know how it goes. Sorry, he wants to go out. Hold on. It's not over yet. There, go out. No. They're not supposed to magically know it. I'm pretty sure that right now, like, they're listening to this, so they know how to sing it later, because it's not over. Like this is the presentation of the new song. So yeah. I had to mute this. All this sounds identical. Yeah, you know what? I feel like before songs used to be like a little bit more, I don't know, more unique. But now that they're doing more, all of them are sounding the same. Like before, they sounded very classical, but they all had the same different, like a different rhythm a little bit. And you know, there were like slow song, the happy song, the sad song, and like worship songs. And now they're all just worship songs about, oh my God, I love being a Jehovah's Witness and not being an apostate because apostates are wrong. It's just Jesus. So yeah, this isn't the end. Like, it's just the presentation of the song. So you learn how to sing it at the end of the annual meeting. There's still time for new light. I mean, they just gave new light in the meeting, in the middle of the annual meeting. So I am hoping that after this boring song, we get our last bit of new light, because I mean, wouldn't they be saving the best for last? And it's obviously not David's plane. Pretty sure this is the end of Play It Once and then play it again when everyone's singing. No, I think we'll cut back to David's plane after this, and like he will give us hopefully the last bit of new light, because he hasn't concluded anything. You know, like there hasn't been like concluding remarks or anything. Like, it's just like, hey, so this is the new song. Do you want to listen to it? So, am I wrong? Am I wrong? Plot twist that 2 new governing body members are AI generated? Yep. I'm pretty sure. You know what? They could be. What would the difference be? Seriously, what would the difference be? That they would believe in evolution? Just program it in the setting. You don't believe in evolution. That's it. All right, I forgot about the 2 new governing body members. Yeah, it was literally at the beginning of me live streaming, which was, I don't know, like pretty much at the beginning, in the first half of the meeting. So, oh my God, this is a long fucking song. Come on. And it's just the same. Stream should have more likes. I know. I mean, we do have 515 people watching. The most I've ever had on a live stream. Just FYI, like just to put it out there. I don't really like talking about, like, you know, how many views I get or whatever, because I know that if you as a viewer, you probably like don't care. But I care a lot. So yeah, thank you so much to everyone tuning in to this apostate stream of the annual meeting. Let's see if we still cut back to David's plane, giving us the last bit of new light, or if this is going to be it. This is just, if anyone's tuning in, this is the new light tracker, and this is just a presentation of a new boring song. Yeah, this is so boring. Yeah, it's so boring and long. So yeah. Haley, don't forget to give praise to Jehovah. No. I give praise to me because the governing body of this channel has decided shit. All right. This is all about the organization, nothing to give our Lord the glory, always the same, so egotistical. What about our creator? He serves our worst and time, not the stupid organization. Yup. Exactly. Like that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like even if you believe in God, right? Surely, I mean, you shouldn't want to give glory to his organization. You should want to give glory to God, and his organization would just be like a reflection of God at best, right? And surely. Oh my God. This is so stupid. This is such a long song. Yes, it is. Jehovah is stopping the likes. Murph, you're totally right. Please join me in the fight against Jehovah by liking this stream. Please. I wish they stop using the same singer they always use. His voice makes me cringe. Is giving vocal teacher. Yes, I mean, he's teaching vocals. Why would they bother making a new song that sounds like every other crappy Kingdom song? Because the governing body has decided to make a new song every year, okay?
Well, now, if you're listening in your room, when the time comes to sing, be sure to join in. Remember, the Lord is listening.
Thank you so much, Matt Wilshire, for fighting because I'm surprised this song isn't about the governing body. Great work, Danny. And thank you so much, Mrs. Sarah Barrett. Hello, Central says for Fight Pigmas, criticize their music isn't in the third person and not about worship. Is this a response? I don't think so.
To ways we can give God glory. He certainly is worthy.
There you go. So that's the end. So that is the end. I mean, they did cut to David's plane, but he just concluded his speech. Don't forget your papers, yes.
Amen. Thank you, Brother David, for that inspiring talk. Well, it's been an eventful annual meeting this year. We have greetings to share from many different places. Many different countries are thinking of us. We received greetings from Angola, Argentina, Brazil, Britain, Burundi, Cameroon, Colombia, Ecuador, Ethiopia.
Is he just going to name countries?
Kazakhstan, Korea, Madagascar, Nigeria, Paraguay, Peru, Portugal, South Africa, Sri Lanka, Taiwan, Ukraine, Venezuela.
You're just naming countries, man.
And some of the comments that were expressed by some of these branches really sum up what we've felt at this annual meeting. For instance, one country expressed in this
exactly, truly one of the annual meetings of all time.
Division, and isn't that what we see everywhere in the news these days? Uncertainty, division, how thankful we are to be joined together with you in this brotherhood, enjoying the peace of the Christ in our hearts. And one other branch expressed what an awesome privilege we have to be part of such an organization that is ever on the move. And of course, that is a result of Jehovah's direction on his organization. So we appreciate receiving these greetings from so many different places.
Exactly. If he was a real governing body member, he'd read this comment section. That's what he would be reading right now. What a jerk.
Perhaps you're interested in knowing our attendance for today.
Yes.
So here's the combined, well, not the combined totals, but well, we'll get to that. Canada, we had 708 in Canada. Here at Newburgh, 2,523. In the U.S. Bethel, the total attendance was 12,080. On JW Stream, from 167 countries, we had 143,770. for a
We
grand
have 60 of those. I'm 60 of those.
1,081.
I mean, we've gotten like over 2,000 people coming in and out. So, you know, it's unrepresented.
Brothers and sisters from so many different locations.
Exactly. The attendance was massive. Yes. Amazing. Amazing how these people who wanted to come came.
Are you glad that you carved out a little time in your schedule for this annual meeting?
I mean,
we trust that the program was encouraging and motivating, and we look forward to.
I woke up early for this. Like, you don't have to twist a knife already.
On the monthly broadcast for December and January. And as Brother Splain mentioned, his talk, the new song, will be released on October 14th. We pray that this program has strengthened your faith and will encourage each one of us to remain steadfast in Jehovah's service and having plenty to do in the work of the Lord. Be assured that the governing body loves each of you.
This
And
could have
we're
been an email.
truly-
Literally everything can be an email in Jehovah's Witness world. And that email can just be
Well,
like,
now the time has arrived for
please
us
stay
to
in
pray
the
the
religion.
Jehovah's
Don't be
song.
apostate.
We
Thanks.
look forward. We know you can do it. We're going to use the new song based on the 2025 year text entitled Give Jehovah Glory. And we're going to play the music nice and loud so that you can sing with confidence. Thereafter, Brother Jacob Rumpf, a member of the governing body, will offer our concluding prayer.
Oh, there you go. Oh, guys. Okay, so yeah, this is it. Look, we are underwhelmed, but we get to see one of the two new guys at the end of the song. I mean, this is like a post-credit scene. If anything, I'm kind of excited. Like, I haven't been this excited for a post-credit scene since phase 1 of the MCU. I mean, what an anticlimax! No, we're gonna see the governing. Oh my God! If they cut this stream before the fucking prayer, I'm gonna be so fucking mad. Oh my God! Oh my God! I'm gonna be so mad. They usually don't stream prayers. They usually don't stream prayers. Are we going to see the governing body praying? If they show a governing body praying, that's new, to be honest. Well, yes, but I mean, this is a stream. Like, this isn't in ExJW.org, so I can't remember if they show people praying when they're just doing live stream. Like, because this is a live stream. Check out my video and pray. Yes, I know that they don't show prayers, but what I'm saying is this is just a live stream, right? Wait, is this an actual live stream? Yes, this is live. Look, like, it's right here. It's right here in the corner. It's live from stream.jw.org. So yeah, this is literally an actual live stream. So this isn't about them cutting the prayer out. It's about them stopping the live stream right before the prayer. About them remembering, even if they're not supposed to, if they forget to remove the prayer. I mean, to remove the thing. Like, we may even get a glimpse into him. I don't know. Guys, come on. Like, they showed the intro prayer. Oh my God, I wasn't there for like the beginning. As you know, we started this late because I was not gonna wake up like early for this. So if they showed the intro prayer, guys, how many did Rumpf suck to get appointed? I don't know, but we do know that the two new guys used to be governing body helpers. So it seems to be confirming the theory that governing body helpers are kind of, if you are a governing body helper and you are anointed, you're probably being groomed into for the governing body. Like, you're very likely to be groomed. So we should keep an eye on governing body helpers, because some governing body helpers have more power than Samuel Hurd. Are you going to tell me that some governing body helpers don't have more influence than Samuel Hurd? We didn't even see him in this meeting. He's dead now. Like, as far as we know. I hope to get someone recorded this so I can show it on tomorrow's stream. LMAO. Listen, don't worry. You can just react to this stream. It's fine. It would just you reacting to a live stream, reacting to this. People will really enjoy this. It's going to be It's going to it's going to be amazing for your viewers. I feel like I've never heard of this guy. That's what I'm saying. It's just so crazy because, like, sure, governing body helpers, right? Apparently, like, 2 governing body helpers got promoted. I've never heard of them. I've never heard of them. Like, we've heard of so many governing body helpers, but I've never heard of them. Just as I have never heard of Gage Flegel or Jeffrey Winder when they got appointed. Like, and like, you know, like with you, Jake, like we both cover this all of the time. We pay more attention than most Jehovah's Witnesses to this. So if they had shown up before, like I feel like we would remember them. So being on camera isn't important. Apparently, actually might be a detriment to climbing the ladder. Exactly. Like, as far as we can see, if you're in camera, you statistically, or according to this streak of people who have been appointed to the governing body, if you're in camera, you're probably not going to be in the governing body. They're actively choosing people who have not been in camera, which is extremely interesting. Like, wouldn't you want somebody who people already know and kind of respect and like? Like, I would have to really think about why they are doing this, because it's just, I don't know. I find it very interesting. But let's see. Will we see the final new governing body member? Well, the first.
Jehovah, our Heavenly Father and Sovereign of the universe,
Governing body member.
We come to you with one united voice.
There you go, guys. This is the new governing body member. This is the new. This is one of the 2 new leaders of the Jehovah's Witnesses.
You saw us in this world.
They've explained to.
You helped.
That's crazy.
And here we are, and we absolutely.
He is young. Yeah, I mean, don't let his balding head fool you.
But to
look, a bald white guy.
Shine the light that you've given to us back on you.
I want to hear this prayer is beautiful. Get the fuck out of here. He looks young. Yes.
We thank you for all of the things that we've learned today. We're learning about your
mercy, he's young though.
Your love for those that have strayed from you, and you see them.
Let's listen to it.
We see them. And we pray, Jehovah, that these ones will come back because we know how much you love and wish they come back to you. Thank you, Jehovah, for this day. Thank you for the life that you've given to us. We ask all of these things in the name of your Son,
far away. I know.
Our King, Jesus Christ. Amen.
There you go. That was the annual meeting. That was one of the new 2 governing body members. We got 2 new governing body members right here. That's crazy. And it's done. We were able to live stream the full annual meeting. Right here on an ExJW apostate stream. Stephen Vanilla prayer, like unlike the rest of the prayers. Come on. Hey, Caleb, Google up his name so we can see him close. I don't, you know what? I am going to make a video about these 2 new governing body members. What are they showing now? Is this just stock footage? Faint to pause. So yeah, that is insane. 500 viewers got spiritually blue balled. Yes, a little bit. But I mean, at least we got to see like one of the new governing body members. So let's just recap. We got 2 new governing body members. One of them we just saw. There's younger ages for cult activities, like going to SKE, applying to Bethel, all of that shit. You can just do that now, even as a teenager, right? And there's a new change in this. Jehovah's Witnesses believe that the UN is going to like destroy pretty much like all religions or whatever at the end of the world, like right at the end of the world. And that was back when the UN was like a big thing, right? And important. And now the UN like has absolutely nothing of authority or whatever, right? So they're like, oh yeah, so what's going to happen is that all of the governments are just going to give the power to the UN because God's going to force them to. And then that's just like the update on the on new light But yeah, it's gotta be insulting to the old governing body guys say that they're like, we're bringing replacements for when you die soon. I mean, yeah, it seems very clearly that they got replacements for Stephen Litt and Samuel Hurd. Samuel Hurd, who wasn't even in this because he's so old and rusty and like dying. So yeah, guys, this was an insane stream. I still can't believe that we were able to live stream the whole thing for like over 2,000 people. Over 2,000 people have been coming in and out of the live stream. Most of them, I'm pretty sure, apostates. So thank you so much for being a part of this amazing stream of the new light and seeing the governing body member, the new governing body member. Like I'm gonna Google them. So I just wanna like touch myself to them. Like